Good afternoon, everybody. City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority, regular meeting, today, September 18, 2012, 6:36 at the Fernando Nene Torres Council Chambers. Before we proceed, I will, even though we're 1 week after, I would still like to give a moment of silence in remembrance of 9/11. We must not forget. So, one moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. We will proceed with the meeting. I will let the public know that our interpreter and our backup will not be able to attend today. The meeting will proceed, and unfortunately, it will not be offered in Spanish, in translation to Spanish. So we'll go to the closed session items. City Attorney, for your report on the closed session items, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council met in closed session. Under item A, three cases on the closed session agenda were removed and not discussed, so only the last case listed under item A was discussed. On that, no reportable action was taken. Items B and C were discussed, direction given, no reportable action taken. Item D on the closed session agenda was removed. Thank you.
Thank you. City Clerk, if you can please take note the attendance to reflect that we have a full quorum. All 5 council members are present. If we can stand up with the Pledge of Allegiance. Chief Mercado, if you can please lead us. Thank you very much. Fellow council members, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Moreno, second by Councilman Hodge. Please press the button to display your vote. Passes unanimously, 5-0. We'll go to presentations. First one will be by Diana Daniels and Sarah Douglas concerning 5K run and 2K walk on October 27th, 2012. Diana Daniels? I know you're here. I just don't see you moving. No, this is not, this is a presentation. No, I understand. For public comments? Yeah. Yeah, you're still going to be going in public comments. No, but we're not in public comments right now. We're in the presentation that you asked for. Oh, all right, okay. Let's go. Do we need the projector for the one for the Calexico Housing Authority?
I don't believe so.
No? All right, then we'll go to B, presentation by the Calexico Housing Authority. Please proceed. Either one.
Oh, okay. I'm the new executive director of the Calexico Housing Authority. My name is Orlando Johnson. I wanted to introduce myself and give you a little brief introduction on what we're doing at the Housing Authority. It's been 2 years since there's been an executive director. I believe Oscar was the last candidate there. He did a great job. He left it in great shape. There's been an interim Housing Authority director, acting both as council and housing director. So the staff has done a great job in doing without a leader for that 2 years. I must commend them. They've kept the place in shape. They've kept it running. But now that I'm on board, I have some plans to improve on some things and to revive some of the previous things. We have a great governing board that's sitting in governance right now. I'm working with them on some projects that we have going forward. And I just wanted to talk to you about about 5 short-term goals that I have. One of them, which is a major concern right here in Calexico right now, is the replacement of some housing units that were sold by the Housing Authority previously. So we're looking at some additional apartment complexes right now. I believe there's one complex and one possible motel conversion that we're looking at as replacement housing. And that's going to bring us about another 40 to 60 units for the Housing Authority, single units as well as one-bedroom units. And then the second of my short-term goals, I should say, is to respond to the audit findings that have previously taken place with the Housing Authority. As you know, they had HUD had come out, OIG, and a couple of other agencies, and an independent audit. They're still doing some responses to questions from those audits, which is really taken away from the operation of the Housing Authority. So one of my goals is to make sure we complete that. I have about 10 years of audit experience, so I can get that out of the way real fast, and then we can go ahead and start doing some of the things we need to do. The second of my goals, short-term goals, is to get the website up, functioning. If you've been and seen the website, it's not working. None of the buttons are working. I can't imagine functioning in today's world without having a website, because that's your communication with the outside world, and all the tenants that need services will go to the website. So that's one of my goals. That will provide financial statements, agendas, board minutes, forms, applications, the board members and contacts information, bids, projects, and so forth. The fourth of my goals is to revise the plans, some of the plans that have taken place, the 5-year plan, and I believe the City of Calexico may have a plan that we can probably collaborate on to make sure that we're in line with what the city's plans are and goals. And then I'm going to go back and look at some of the older plans that are expiring, the plan from 2010 through 2014, to ensure that those goals and objectives were accomplished. If not, we'll include them going forward to ensure that those goals and objectives are accomplished. And then some of the annual plan, which is more of some of the construction projects and modernization, ensuring that that is done, because there's a lot and a need for maintenance on a lot of the facilities that we have. And so we want to ensure that that's completed, because that's one of the big problems that HUD had with the Housing Authority, was some of the maintenance that was taking place and some of the repairs that were needed. Funding is not an issue. There just wasn't a plan in place to get it done. And without a leader and without someone to make that decision for these 2 years, the money just sort of sat, and then the work wasn't getting done. So now that I'm on board, we're going to ensure that that takes place. And lastly, I want to ensure that we work with the City of Calexico in any project, in any housing project or program that you have. I'm available 7/24. I'll give you my business card, and if ever you need anything, or you need me to come back and do a presentation or a status update, feel free to contact me.
Well, as a matter of fact, there hasn't been that much of a exchange of information between the city and the Housing Authority. I don't know, City Manager, even with your experience working with the Housing Authority, what would be a reasonable time frame where asking for some kind of a summary down the line, either quarterly, semi-annually?
Yeah.
I think not only will the council very much welcome it, but I'm sure the community would also welcome such
Sure.
information.
Sure. Quarterly is fine. Quarterly is fine. So
Thank you.
we'll plan that.
All right. Then I'm sure that with Mr. Rodriguez's experience, that I'm sure that you guys can
Oh, yeah.
put something to work together.
I've talked to Orlando just today, and I've known Orlando for a while. I think he's a great addition to the Housing Authority, and we're going to be able to collaborate on different projects. So I'm glad to see him on board, and congratulations, Orlando.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Orlando, for
Thank you.
your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't see Diana Daniels, I guess they're not ready. Presentation by the Calexico Special Financing Authority. Is someone here? I guess not. We have some, I guess we'll continue to wait for the presentation by Diana Daniels and Sarah Douglas. We have some, before we go to item number D for a presentation of a certificate of appreciation, I'd like for this council to support in issuing out these certificates. We have some soccer teams, 2 soccer teams, and I would rather start with the coach and have the coaches receive the young players. City of Calexico recognizes Carlos Cervantes, coach, for your participation in coaching youth sports and for helping to build character and promote an active, healthy lifestyle for our children. On behalf of the Calexico City Council, I congratulate you on an excellent job and for becoming 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions, Group U8. Mr. Cervantes, are you here? No? Okay. No, go ahead. Yes. Well, if you wish.
City of Calexico recognizes Edna Estrada, coach, for your participation in coaching youth sports and for helping to build character and promote an active, healthy lifestyle for our children. On behalf of the City Calexico Council, I congratulate you on an excellent job and for becoming 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions, U8. Daniel Romero, Mayor. Edna Estrada.
She's not here either. Mr. Castro?
Okay, City of Calexico recognizes Pedro Núñez, coach, for your participation in coaching youth sports and helping to build character and promote an active, healthy lifestyle for our children. On behalf of the City of Calexico, City Council, I congratulate you on excellent job and for becoming 2012 State Games of America Soccer Championship. Signed by Daniel Romero, Mayor.
Is he here?
Pedro Núñez.
Señor Núñez. Señor Núñez, se quede aquí para felicitar y para que reciba sus jugadores. Okay, now we'll go to the, oh, yeah, that's right. You're absolutely correct. My apologies.
Julio Flores. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the City of Calexico recognizes Julio Flores, auxiliary coach.
Well, no, you don't have it. Mr. Hodge.
Ladies and gentlemen, the City of Calexico recognizes Samuel Ortiz, auxiliary coach, for your participation in coaching youth sports and for helping to build character, promote an active, healthy lifestyle for our children. On behalf of Calexico City Council, we congratulate you on this excellent job and for becoming 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions. Give them a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Here you are, sir.
Congratulations. Not bad, Bill.
That was
Still
better.
needed a lot of work, Bill.
It's better than yours, John. Let's take a vote. How many like mine?
Okay, now we'll go to the players themselves. City of Calexico congratulates Luciano Martinez in recognition of your commitment and outstanding achievement in becoming the 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions, Group U8.
Okay, Group U8.
Luciano, not here.
Okay.
Okay, you want to give it to him? You want to give it to the other coach, please? Okay. Okay. All right, Mr. Hodge, we'll go with your
City of
entertainment.
Calexico congratulates Brian Munoz in recognition of your commitment and outstanding achievement in becoming the 2012 State Games of American Soccer Championship. Congratulations. I used to be that short.
Go
All right,
ahead.
continue, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor. Once again, we repeat, City of Calexico congratulates Julio Flores in recognition of your commitment and outstanding achievement. Soccer championship, there you go. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the City of Calexico congratulates Eric Nunez. Come on up, Eric. All right, accepting the award for Eric Nunez.
Thank you, Coach.
That's it for U8.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem?
City of Calexico congratulates Maximiliano Escalante in recognition of your commitment and outstanding achievement in becoming the 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions.
Not here.
City of Calexico congratulates Mario Gallo
All
in
right.
recognition of your commitment and outstanding achievement in becoming the 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions.
They're doing their homework.
City of Calexico also congratulates Iker Gamboa in recognition of your
All right, he's
commitment and
here.
outstanding achievement in becoming the 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions U8.
Felicidades, mijo. Okay. Mr. Moreno?
Give it a try, John.
The City of Calexico congratulates Felipe Mesa.
All right.
Wait, no, you wait.
U15.
No, you ate. Permítame, Felipe Mesa, un momento.
You gave him to me like that.
8.
That's too bad,
That's
John.
all right.
I didn't make that mistake, John.
Ruben Campos Jr.
All right.
Adrián Galvez. And Andre Soberanes.
Andre is in the Philippines on location filming.
Okay. Mr. Castro?
Okay, City of Calexico congratulate Nico Davalos.
All right. Not here.
There you go.
City of Calexico congratulate Jesse Nunez.
Hey, Jesse.
Okay, City of Calexico congratulates Angel Ortiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's your champions of the UA group. Congratulations.
All right.
Gracias, Coach. Felicidades, Coach.
De nada.
Okay, we'll go to the next team. Before I do that, Gloria, are you here to give that presentation for that Calexico financing? Okay, thank you. City of Calexico recognizes, and Federico, we will need your last name because all we have is your first name here. Federico, auxiliary coach, for your participation in coaching youth sports and for helping to build character and promote an active, healthy lifestyle for our children. On behalf of the Calexico City Council, I congratulate you on an excellent job and for becoming 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions, Group U15. Mayor,
All
is
right.
here today? Okay, Mr. Moreno, we'll go in reverse order now. Yes.
The City of Calexico congratulates Felipe Mesa in recognition of your commitment and outstanding achievement in becoming the 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions. U15, Coach.
Se lo que llevar, okay. Okay, muy bien. Okay, Mr. Castro.
City of Calexico recognize Felipe Mesa, coach.
Otro?
Second, this is the second.
Oh, the son.
Okay.
Junior.
That's your son,
Junior.
and that's the coach.
Right?
Okay. Get your.
Where's the son at? Mr. Hodge? No, on the coaches. Nothing
I
else?
don't have a coach.
Okay. All right, we'll go to the players. I thought you had coaches.
No, no, sir.
City of Calexico congratulates Francisco Castillo in recognition of your commitment and outstanding achievement in becoming the 2012 State Games of America Soccer Champions Group U15. Felicidades, mijo. City of Calexico congratulates Francisco Beltrán. Mr. Moreno.
The City of Calexico congratulates Oscar Ortiz. Brian Contreras. And David Martinez.
Mr. Castro, please.
City of Calexico congratulate Ivan Figueroa. City of Calexico congratulate Miguel Rojo. City of Calexico congratulates Alejandro Belzagui.
All right.
Mr. Hodge.
Ladies and gentlemen, the City of Calexico congratulates Jose Gomez. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the City of Calexico congratulates Jesus Luquin. Not here. The City of Calexico congratulates Jesus Niebla. Are you here, Jesus? Not here. City of Calexico congratulates Federico Gutierrez. Federico. All right, sir. Congratulations. 1 out of 5.
City of Calexico congratulates Isai Lopez.
Congratulations.
City of Calexico congratulates Angel Rubalcaba.
¿No está? No.
City of Calexico congratulates Rubén Aldama.
Ruben, you play basketball?
You should.
And last but not least, City of Calexico congratulates Angel Gutierrez.
All right, Angel. Give it up for Angel. Just forget about it.
Anyway, a round of applause for these champions.
All right, champion.
The next thing is that when I inquired about this, I was a little surprised it had not yet happened. This is a certificate of appreciation presented to Mrs. Carmen Estrada, Calexico Parents Athletic League, otherwise known as CPAL, for your exemplary leadership and advocacy on behalf of our youth through the Calexico Parents Athletic League. Your continued guidance and dedication have created a program. Where'd you go?
She's there.
Oh.
Taking
Created a program that illustrates how effective community involvement can create opportunities for our youth to enjoy safe and healthy recreational activities. Your community spirit, has been instrumental in organizing collective efforts to improve the quality of life for our younger generations. The City of Calexico is proud of you and your passion to motivate our youth and community to work together and strive towards transforming what some only dare to dream of into a reality all can enjoy and be inspired by. Carmen Estrada, thank you very much.
Muchas gracias por este certificado que es de todos ustedes, de los niños, de la comunidad y de mis hijas, de mi familia. Póngase bien, por favor. Astrid, Penélope, Grecia, que esto fue formado por ellas. Son las mejores basquetbolistas. Por eso se empezó este programa, por estas niñas que son parte mía. Gracias al Departamento de Policía, a la Asociación de Policía, a Migración, a Border Patrol, al Sheriff, y hay tantas cosas que decir. Gracias, porque este es un grupo que se formó con amor, con cariño, con humildad. Y ustedes saben cómo se formó esto. Al jefe de policía le quiero decir, jefe, muchas gracias, porque tú no nos has dejado nunca abajo. Y qué bueno que ustedes ya nos reconocen, porque esto es más unión. Y yo les pido de favor a todas las personas que quieren separar, por favor, la unión es la fuerza para seguir adelante. Con eso es con lo que vamos a avanzar cada día más. Muchas gracias a todos.
Gracias, Carmen Estrada.
Disculpen, estoy muy emocionada, pero quiero decirles que parte de este programa es Luis Fuentes y Tony García, que ellos fueron parte de este programa para iniciar. Se inició con 40 niños y tenemos 4,000 niños. Empezamos a nivel local, luego a nivel condado, a nivel estado y estamos a nivel nacional. Gracias.
Gracias a usted, Carmen.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to say about Ms. Carmen Estrada. Many years ago, when I was the vice principal at Calexico High School, she wanted more for her daughters and for the community of the city of Calexico. And we sat in the office and we talked about how we could provide more recreation. And she was very emotional, but I knew that in her heart that one day she would see her program into fruition with the help of a lot of people. And I recall that day, it must have been 2002 or 2003, and her daughters were, she had about 7 daughters, was it? 6, okay, I was one off. And they were athletes, and they were involved in their school, whether it be cheerleading or playing basketball or ASB. But they were there because her spirit was strong, and it's evident here tonight that throughout these years, the program for PAL and CPAL, with the support of the police department, the chief, and all other law enforcement agencies, and with the city leaders, Mr. Fuentes, Tony Garcia, I see him not only at PAL, but he's at football games and basketball games and baseball games. Tony, you need to stand up too. So I thank you, Mrs. Estrada, for doing all that you do for our students and our kids in Calexico. Thank you very much.
Any comments from any council members?
Simplemente gracias, señora Estrada. Arriba y adelante.
Thank you, Ms. Estrada, for everything that you have done, that I'm sure that everybody will know, everything that you will continue to do. The kids of Calexico are the ones that benefit from your dedication and your passion for it. So we thank you, and good luck to the rest. Thank you. Ms. Daniels, are you now ready? Okay. Diana Daniels and Sarah Douglas concerning 5K run, 2K walk on October 27, 2012. Okay. Ms. Estrada, would you like a moment for everybody to leave, or you want to stay for this presentation? ¿Espera o se quiere retirar? Okay. Creo que será bueno para los niños también, para que sepan. Go ahead, Ms. Daniels. Sí, Mercado.
Good evening, everybody. I apologize for for not having extra copies for you, but I've been sending this presentation all day long for some reason. You guys are not receiving it for some reason. I don't know if there's a computer glitch or something going on, but if you'd like a copy of this, I can definitely forward it to you if you like. But like I said, I've been doing it all day, and for some reason, Gabby just can't get it in her mailbox, so just FYI. Originally, this presentation was supposed to be very positive, very happy, and I guess in a way it is, but I wish it was more than that. And I must apologize to you because I know from last time I was here, I said, can't wait to come back here and share all this great news with you guys and all these wonderful ideas that I have planned. Well, I don't know if this is going to happen right now or not, but if you can go ahead with the next slide. I'm going to start off with the mission statement. It is the mission of the Calexico Police Department to provide service with honor and respect, to protect life, to enforce laws, and to perform our duties in partnership with the community, thereby increasing the quality of life for all of Calexico. What's been happening lately at the shelter, I don't believe that it actually followed the mission statement, and I would like to help out and get it there. I'm not blaming everything on the police department because believe it or not, they have been working with me, and it's wonderful, but I think it takes a lot more than a police department to help the shelter out. I would like to thank, actually, before getting started, I want to thank Nick Servine, I want to thank Sandra Tuller, and then I'd like to thank also Ms. Guerrero. They have met with me last week to possibly help me out and talk about the shelter, but I'm just going to show you what's been happening right now. Next. Yeah, just a few photos for the kids might be a little bit disturbing, so I'm just going to warn you a little bit. Go ahead. Here we have a picture of some slimy, filthy water that these animals drink. There's old, stale, contaminated food. But the worst part of the food is the fact that there's maggots in the food. I don't know, I've been here for 2 years now, and I've brought this up over and over and over and over and over again. And you know what? I'm going to keep on coming here and doing this until you guys are going to say, you know what? Okay, I see what she's saying. Maybe it's time to make a change. I'm not going anywhere, guys. I'm going to be here for a very long time. So I would really appreciate some more help on this if you could just help me out. Next, please. Here's a picture of a dog that we received. Very matted, all over ticks. It was in a very, very poor condition. I look at this photo and I'm thinking neglect. Not neglect just by the city or by the police department, but neglect just by just by the citizens of Calexico. There's no awareness and there's no education. So I'm really trying hard here and just educate people. I'm making this shelter better and not be like this that you see right now on the screen. Next, please. Proper care is only given while volunteers are at the shelter, especially on Sundays. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Sundays there's nobody working there. So I make it a point to come there on Sunday and bring a whole bunch of volunteers with me. We do great work. We spend a lot of time with these animals, as you see before and after the photo. Next, please. Here's a picture of a dog that was from Sunday. I'm not even exaggerating this, there was probably about 300 ticks that we took off personally off this poor animal. 300 ticks. This is definitely neglect by the owner. However, when this dog is being kept in quarantine and not being cared for properly, that's just death right there. That's pure animal abuse. It's death. That's basically watching a dog die by keeping it in quarantine. Go ahead, please, next. Here's before and after. That is what happened right there after. I personally went in there and I personally shaved this dog myself. Yes, it was quarantined, and I wasn't supposed to do that. But I could not walk away from that and just let this dog die in front of me like that. I couldn't. It was disgusting to see. I took out approximately 300 ticks from this dog. 300. Next, please. I feel like I'm not getting much support here, and I think the only support that I'm getting is just from the volunteers who come to this shelter. City is responsible for the shelter, but volunteers do the majority of care, such as cleaning kennels, bathing, exercise, and love. Instead of the city looking for an answer for me, such as everyone always tells me, Diana, start Start a 501c3. Do this and do that. And you know what? I would love to start that one of these days. But you know what? Right now is not the time. And also what I believe is that in order to start a 501c3, I would do it personally myself if I had my own land, my own building, my own trucks, my own people who would support me on this. This is a city-run shelter. People get paid by the city to make the shelter look good. This is a city shelter. It's not my shelter. It's not her shelter, his shelter. It's the city's shelter. People get paid to be at the shelter and work there. People who are paid by the city to run the city, they need to take just action. People who run the city have dropped the ball on this common interest. Now as we work together to correct this wrong, I still do not get much needed support from the city, who is overall responsible for the condition of this facility. I've taken numerous meetings and thought change is set to happen, but it doesn't. These pictures that you have seen so far have been issues for years. As you may recall, I've been coming here for now about 2 years. And every time I preach the same message. I feel like I just come here and I tell you guys everything over again. And it's like, oh, great job. Yeah, good job, Diana. We're so proud of you. And all I hear is just a whole bunch of talking. That's all I hear. If you think that this, by ignoring me, is going to make me go away, you're sadly mistaken. It's not. It's not. If anything, this is going to make me a lot stronger, because right now we have over 40 volunteers at the shelter. 40. Started with me, with one person. Now there's 40. And this happened, and thanks to our Facebook page, we have now over 500 friends on Facebook. These people come in on Saturdays and Sundays and help out. From one person to 40 now. You think it's going to get smaller? Guess again. It's just going to keep growing in numbers. Next, please. We need an adequate facility with a roof and a wall to protect the scorching summer and freezing winters. All animals need to be vaccinated while at the shelter to prevent spread of disease. I've been talking to Humane Society up in El Centro, and I said to them, hey, what's the ratio of our dogs actually, being adopted? And they said, you know what, Diana, I hate to break it to you, but actually 50% of your dogs are put to sleep. 50%. 50%. That's disgusting. What I'm talking about specifically here is the fact of fixing broken kennels, real quarantine areas. A quarantine area is basically just an area set up away from everybody else that can prevent disease from spreading. Right now, what we have right there is wrong, unsatisfactory. It's not a quarantine area. We have dogs on the front, back, left, and right. That's being spread every single day. So we have a healthy dog who comes in, and by staying at the shelter, it gets more and more sick. I'm not blaming this strictly on a police department. I'm blaming this on the city. You guys dropped the ball big time. Also, what I suggest is treating animals for ticks and other pests. We've talked about this for so long. Ticks, pests, tick, pests. How about we actually do something about it? I'm sick of talking about this to you guys. Proper training for shelter employees. Proper training for shelter employees. Huge. That's huge. I've just had a woman write me an email saying, Diana, I want to know how much are the control officers connected to you guys at the shelter. And I said, you know what? I see them once a week, and that's about it. She discussed about what she saw on the street. She discussed it at the way that she saw the officer who was there that day pick up a dog, not even by the legs or by its body, but literally by the collar and throw it in the car. She told me that. How am I supposed to encourage people and preach on this message if this is what people are seeing on the street? I can only imagine what happens behind closed doors. Disgusting. A good faith attempt of reuniting the animal with the owner by calling a phone number on the tag and not coming for further burden. What I'm saying is this is very simple. We have dogs there who have collars, who have tags, who have phone numbers. Here's a thought. Let's call that number. Let's call the number and say, hey, how you doing? We have your dog. Oh, great, thank you so much for calling. We had a man who was looking for his dog for weeks. We had a volunteer sheriff Douglas who came in, found a number on the cage, called the number, said, "Hi, I'm a volunteer. I have your dog here." He was there in less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. I don't understand it. The phone number's there. Tag is there. Everything's there. Why is it so hard to understand? I just don't, it boggles my mind. It's pure neglect. As mentioned earlier, all these issues have been brought up and discussed and addressed, such as water bowls, maggots in food, no proper vaccination, excessive amount of parasites and ticks, improper quarantine of animals accompanied by neglect and roof. Just because the animal is quarantined, it does not mean that it's got to be neglected. It does not mean that. You cannot leave an animal there for 10 to 14 days in a cage, not being walked and not being looked at. Wear some gloves, something. If you're not going to do it, I'll do it. Next, please. This right here was a solution. This was a great solution, phenomenal solution. I told you guys about this for about a year now. Let's have a dog run, a dog walk. How fun is that going to be? Guess what? It's not happening. You know why it's not happening? It's because I'm not being backed up by the city. If the city was behind me 100%, you'd be coming to me. Hey, Diana, how about you work with so-and-so, 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 and let's work on getting this done. I work my butt off on this thing. I come home at 9, 10 o'clock at night after work, and nothing's being done about this. I make my own business plan, my own budget sheets, my own this, my own that, everything, and nothing is being done about it. In fact, last week, I was supposed to have a meeting up with the guys from the IT office, and guess what happened to me? I got stiffed. I didn't even get a phone call, an email, a text message. Hey, Diana, guess what? Sorry, I'm not going to be there. It's absurd. It's absurd. We've been up on Facebook for about 6 weeks now. We have over 500 friends. And just last week, 40 people joined us. We just keep growing and growing and growing in numbers. It's events like this that will continue to give CLXCO positive reinforcement that the city needs. If the city was to put as much effort into the shelter as we do, then we'll be 10 steps ahead and not 20 steps back. Go ahead, please, next. Another thing, updated photos. Our photos are being updated every single week. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but a few months ago, I came in and I presented right over there, and I made a first donation. I said, here's a camera. Take pictures, upload it, do this, do that. You think it's been happening? Wrong. It has not been happening. Who's been doing those website things? Me. Every single week, me and the volunteers are doing this. Diana, how are people gonna make donations? I'll make a PayPal account. There, it's there. All I ask for this event, if this was to happen, is to have, I guess, just a website built so that if people from Yuma and from San Diego and from El Centro and from Imperial can simply come and register for the run and make it happen. Nothing is being done about this. Next, please. Here's a wonderful photo of some of our volunteers. Kids from high school, kids from colleges who come in and volunteer their time on Saturdays and Sundays, who love being there, who enjoy coming here all the time. I would love to make this even bigger if you guys are going to be on my side. Next, please. Here's some more of our young volunteers who attend every single Saturday and Sunday. Success story. This is the guy that I told you about who's been looking for his dog for weeks. Sarah Douglas found the tag right there on the cage with the phone number, with a name. Hey, sir, guess what? I found your dog. Where'd you find my dog? It's here at the shelter. He was there in less than 10 minutes. I don't see why we can't call on the first day, first hour. Boggles my mind. Next, please. Bottom line, what the volunteers do out of the goodness of their heart is what the city should be doing, because they're getting paid. We do this for free. And you know why we do it for free? Is because we believe in it and because we love it. That's why. Next, please. We all have the opportunity to enrich our community and better the lives of our citizens and their animals. A little extra effort goes a long way. Just from what I've seen in the past 6 weeks or so, whenever I ask somebody, you know what, do me just a huge favor, if you can just do this. Nobody is willing to take that extra inch, and make a difference. Why? I'm still gonna get paid. I'm a city worker. Psst, why do I need that for? Boggles my mind. It's disgusting. Next, please. One of the articles from Ivy Press. I don't know if you guys seen the paper lately, but it looks like every single week we're in the paper. Free PR. Come to Calexico. Do this, do that. Free PR. This is what we do. Next, please. And the biggest question I have for you guys is, who here has actually came and visited the shelter? Who? People on the board, audience, who actually came? I've been preaching about this for almost 2 years. You would think that you can just go stop by for 10, 15 minutes, see what I'm talking about. You would think. That's it. That's all I got for you, sir.
Okay. I have some questions and
ahead.
clarification, Diana. So let me just go slow and work this out, because I'm frustrated too. And I commend you for your activism, and it saddens me, and I don't want to lose your leadership. And everything you've pointed out is absolutely correct. But now I'm befuddled, because John Moreno and myself, Mr. Rodriguez, and Chief Nujar, and I took the lead in inventing this subcommittee, and we sit down and we discuss these things. And when I walk out, Diana, I think that we're going to get things done. We talked about ticks, we talked about all these areas. So are you saying that nothing has been implemented?
I'm saying that from last time when we talked, I brought up about the rusty water. I said, hey, you know, we have to have some water bowls that's going to be aluminum. It's not going to rust. Oh, yeah, that's right. The chief said, you know what? I ordered them. I believe it. Where are they? Where are they? You know what, Diana? I talked to Twin City Feed about some kind of medicine that apparently every single dog who comes in is going to be given some kind of medicine and ticks are going to die. I believe him. Where is it?
Sometimes it takes some time, but I think you're absolutely correct that we need to pick up a phone and call you and inform you what's going on.
Sir, you know what? I know that the city, it takes time to make a change in the city. I understand. It's politics. I know. But you know what? For 2 years now, I've been patient, very patient. You know, and I'm really trying to be on your guys' side. I really
Well, we don't
am.
want to lose you. I don't want to lose
I mean,
you.
honestly,
You're making
I
a
mean-
big difference, so
I
we
mean,
need
sir,
we
I'm
need to
trying
really step
here.
up here.
I'm trying. I come in and do it for free. I buy things off my own money. Everything you
You
guys
shouldn't have
need,
to do
I'm
that.
there for.
You're absolutely correct.
I don't understand what else I need to do.
It should be the city.
I don't understand what else I
And
need
it's
to
the
do.
same thing I have about the parks. It's good to adopt parks, but it should be the city that's responsible.
I don't understand.
So I'm a little taken back, and I know you've said it's not totally the responsibility of the police department.
It's not. It's not.
And we've sat there, and I've walked out thinking we were going to get things done. Chief Nujar, can you address any of these areas, sir?
I appreciate
Mr.
what the chief
Mr.
has
Hodge?
Oh,
done.
I'm sorry.
This
Is
is
this out of line?
presentations.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate on what the chief has done. You know, I brought up things to chief. I said, you know what, chief, I need more shampoo. Sure, here you go. You know what, chief, I need more tubs. Sure, here you go. You know what, chief, I need this. Sure, here you go. You know, things like that. Thank you so much for that.
Did you get them?
Yes, I did. I did. However, roof, when's that going to happen? Summer's ending, winter's beginning. It's cold in Calexico. It is. January, 3, 4 in the morning, it's freezing.
You know, she makes a good point when she talks about the conditions and the volunteers doing more work than the employees. Is there a breakdown in that respect as far as neglecting? I mean, how many employees do we have there? And,
Two.
you know, I mean, what are the, again, I asked the question last time she came in. Changing the water, changing the food, service, you know, providing the care for the animals?
So there's maggots in the food, and I mean,
I mean-
I brought it up and said, you know what, how about we do this? How about we just go ahead and portion size the food? How about, instead of taking half the bag and dumping it, you know, into the thing, how about we just take 2 cups, measure out every day? God forbid it takes you 10 minutes in your day to actually go to every kennel and refill that bowl.
There's a breakdown somewhere, Mayor, and we need to look at it. I mean, if we're paying somebody to be there, they've got to take care of it. This is their section.
I don't mind doing it on
I don't know.
Sundays. I'm there on Sundays, sir. I'm there on Sundays, I'm there on Saturdays. I don't mind doing that. But at the same time, Monday through Friday, I mean, I have a life too. And recently, I haven't had a life because I've been working on this nonstop.
Thank you, Ms. Daniels.
Researching.
Mr. Hodge, you mentioned that you were part of a subcommittee?
Yes,
Okay, can you please coordinate?
yes.
And who was the second member of this subcommittee?
It's Mr. John Moreno, Councilman John
Okay,
Moreno.
then if you could meet with...
Well, we're meeting tomorrow. I hope.
Schedule a meeting and
5:30 tomorrow.
address
So
these
it saddens me that
concerns.
we talk and things aren't done, or some
Okay,
things.
well, I would say
But
that
we'll inquire and find out, Mr. Mayor.
between both of you, make the arrangements through the city manager and see which personnel can be available for it.
She's the kind of people, along with Carmen Estrada, that makes a difference. We should be jumping loops for her activism, so I apologize.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, we cannot, she has a spark, and City of Calexico needs to take advantage of it. And thank you for your dedication there, Ms.
Thank you,
Daniels.
sir. And another form filled out, so that's 41 volunteers, just FYI. It's
Thank
growing
you.
every single day.
All right,
Another one.
thank you, Ms. Daniels. Presentation we'll go back to the presentation by the Calexico Special Finance Youth Authority, Ms. Silvia Bernal.
Good evening. I was asked to do a report on what we've been doing with the JPA. Pioneer Memorial Healthcare District went into a 24-hour urgent care center, and we're paying for the services, to having that services done 24 hours and on the weekend, and the total for that was $313,865.35. And we now, we got a grant for a telemedicine through Clínica de Salud, and that's through the California Healthcare Foundation, and that was $16,154.26. The things that I'm telling you right now is coming out of the JPA account. And then we have the Chronic Disease Senior Wellness Program. That was $6,748.77. That's through the Heffernan District. And then we have the City of Calexico Senior Wellness Program, $25,000. That's through the JPA account. We have the flu shots that we give every year. As a matter of fact, those are going to be given next month to 200 people that need to have their flu shot, that don't have insurance, and the Heffernan is covering that. That is about $1,000 that we pay for the flu vaccines through the health department. We had the Mariachi Festival where we donated to that. $2,000, that was paid out of the Heffernan District. We have the affiliators that were put in the police cars. Those are in case there's an emergency. Do you remember how many they were there? I think there were seven?
No, I think there was a few more, no?
10? I think it was 10 that we had put in the,
Right.
in the police car. That's in case there's an emergency.
The police units, right.
Yeah, the first aid, it's first aid, they they give the special treatment for heart cases. Those are put on the police cars, those have them, right, Mr. Chief, Police Chief? Right? Okay. That was, and then that was about $8,000, and that was paid out of the JPA account. We then had the ambulance fire department We paid for the taxes, that was $15,092. And then we furnished medical supplies during the earthquake. They needed to have the oxygen tanks filled. They needed to have all the first aid equipment that they need there. We also paid for that. And then we donated to the, we gave a donation to the Cancer Resource Center for $10,000. And to the American Cancer Society, we gave another $10,000. And then we had breast exams, and those are done to the Clínica de Salud, and they're, the exams, they first have to go into the doctor to Clínica de Salud, then they go to the mobile unit when it comes in, and that's done through the community center at the city of Calexico. That was $2,000. And then a few years back, we donated to El Centro Regional a CAT scan. That was a little bit over $200,000. And on our agenda for tomorrow is Mr. Chief Mercado is on there for asking us for another ambulance, and that cost will be $190,000. And that's where our money has been going to. If you would like to have a copy of what I just mentioned to you, I can have that emailed to you. And I would like to also introduce the board. This was done through, would you please stand, board members? This was done through all of us, through the effort of all of these ladies, of us. Norma can't stand because she just had surgery. Of us working together as a team and trying to better our city. Thank you.
Thank you,
Do you have
Heffernan
any
Memorial District. Any questions by this council? No, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. It's not on the agenda under presentations, but I will extend to, yes, the POA for a presentation they wish to make tonight to senior citizens. Or the TV, I was saying.
I just want, on behalf of the Calexico Police Officers Association, we want to present the City of Calexico with a check for we committed ourselves to a TV for the Senior Center about 2 meetings ago. And this is just one small step in helping out the community of many things that we do out there. So, on behalf of the Calexico Police Officers Association, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys can keep the check to and split it.
Thank you, POA, for doing this. Thank you. And before I go to public comments, Mr. Gonzalez wished to make some comments about Mr. Tony Garcia. I think it was you, Mr. Moreno, you made some comments about Mr. Tony Garcia.
My name's
right?
Oscar Gonzalez. I wanted to mention about Tony Garcia, but he's not here. My daughter Leticia is 42. My son Jesus is 37. Carolina is 32. They were swimmers. Mr. Tony has been involved since I returned from up north, 1975.
Can you speak into the microphone? They cannot hear
Yes.
you.
And Tony was a great football player, swimmer. He's done a lot of unselfish volunteer work. I know Mr. Moreno can attest to that. He was also a great coach. He's still working volunteer. Tony should be given a resolution from the state assembly and also from representatives. Not only Tony, but Chavela Wong too. Chavela has been probably the pioneer right now. She's been in CRLA for over 40 years. And I've known Chavela longer than that because I went to school with her brother Lloyd. But more importantly, Chavela is unselfish. And she also merits a resolution from the city, the state, and assembly and representative because of her devotion and dedication. And in conclusion, Gloria Grijalva to and her mother. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay. We'll go to public comments. I will request from City Council Member John Moreno to monitor the 3 minutes and to remind the speakers at 2 minutes, 30 seconds, they have 30 seconds to conclude their presentation. This is the time for the public to address the council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name for the record. You are not allowed to make personal attacks on individuals or make comments which are slanderous or which may invade an individual's personal privacy. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. And under these public comments, if you have an item to address under the consent calendar, please do so at this time. We have, I'll start with you, Mr. Gonzalez, item number 4. Oh,
Sorry, I didn't.
no. Yes, Chief Mercado.
Okay, I just want to take a few minutes. Chief Mercado, City of Calexico Fire Department. In addressing a concern or a statement that was made last meeting, I promised that I would try to get the city's emergency operations plan to you. I tried to email that, but I guess the file is extremely large. So what I did is I provided each of you a CD copy. Although the plan, it was adopted in 99 in a draft form, it was never implemented officially because of the transition from the Office of Emergency Services to California Emergency Management Agency. So this is just a good draft. It gives you an idea of what the city is prepared for and how to deal with certain emergencies and certain things that have to take place. But also it gives you kind of an idea of the challenges that lie ahead of us. So we're in the process of doing a rewrite of our emergency action plan or operation plan. So we will be meeting, and I know that Mr. Hodge and Mr. Castro will be sitting with us in that planning process. So I am meeting with a consultant tomorrow after a 2-week scheduled meeting. So hopefully we can start moving forward with our adoption and revisit of this plan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chief Mercado. Okay, Lieutenant Gerardo, you got something, presentation before we commence with the public comments from the community.
Good evening, City Council, Honorable Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lieutenant Gerardo, Calexico Police Department. We were trying to get this on the agenda, but we were a little bit kind of late. October 20th of this year, it's a Saturday, we're going to be having a fundraiser by the name of Calexico's Talent Extravaganza. We have the Chamber of Commerce helping us out and some other recreation, other people. We want to raise money for our kids and badges benefits. We've been doing this for 9 years now, where we take 40 to 50 underprivileged kids on a shopping spree right before Christmas. A lot of people think that these kids go out there and buy toys, but they don't. They buy very needed clothing, their shoes. They hardly ever get any toys, and when they do, it's because the officers themselves buy them the toys. The officers in the fire department are the ones that we're doing it this year, and that's why we call it Kids and Badges and not Shop with a Cop. This year, the event is going to be, like I said, it's going to Saturday, October 20th. You guys are all invited. $30 per ticket will get you entertainment, local talent, no amateur, no professionals, and it will include a catered dinner by, I believe it's Taco Mix at this time, and all the money, all the proceeds will go to that. We're happy to announce right now, tentatively, we're 99% sure we're going to have celebrity judges judging the event. One of them is Ricardo Chavira, that used to come out in Desperate Housewives. The second one, it's geared more towards the juveniles. Her name is Danielle Monet, who does Victorious. She is the character that she plays as Trina Vega. And the other gentleman is Nathan Kress, who plays Freddie in iCarly, or played Freddie in iCarly, because that show's ending. But they're still acting. I say 99% sure, because as long as they're in LA doing work or in Southern California, they will be here on that day. They said that if they're out there, they get a job from here to October 20th, or they have to be out of country or on the other side of the nation, they probably won't be able to get. But I was promised by the person who is helping me here. She's a Calexico High School alumni who made it into a little bit into the scene of Hollywood, and she was my connect. And I met with her, and I met her with her boyfriend, who's an actor too, and they are all happy. They want to contribute. It's the first year we do it, but she says that if successful, that they will do other events. She has other actors on board just in case these people can't make it. They're acting, and it's like I said, most of the kids. When we showed this, all the women went crazy over Ricardo Chavira, but then when I brought the two other actors, they were like all the kids. So that's going to draw the crowd we want to draw, which is the kids. As it's an event, fundraising money for children, for kids, we want to cater to the kids. So we're going to solicit donations. Jennifer, here you go. I know your firm has a lot of money. So it's going to be our Honorable City Council Member John Moreno will be emceeing the event, of course. He's the voice of Calexico. And we have some surprises. Edward James almost promised me, and I've been communicating with him, to send us some autograph memorabilia for us to auction off on that day. So they will bring headshots, which is pictures of themselves for them also for the event. So, it's one of those things where we raise money because, some of these kids, we found out, because we get close to them, make it real fast. The kids come in, they get picked out by the school family resource center, and they're not your kids that have a lot of money. Some of these kids only eat once or twice a day, and it's because when they're at school. So when we meet up with these children, we meet them at Hometown Buffet. Mr. Carlton Hargrave has always been gracious to host us there. And he helps us out. From there, we pair them up with the officers and the firefighters, and we get to interact with the children when we find out a little bit of background on these kids. Believe it or not, a lot of these kids have only seen us in a negative way, and during that event, they actually see that we're real human beings. So we get to eat with them, and then we take them on a shopping spree. We do take them around town with lights and sirens first, and then we take them on a shopping spree. Walmart, same thing, gracious enough to always provide cake, milk, and water for the kids. So they get a good meal that day. And we try, maybe this year we'll be able to do a little bit more for them, but they go out with clothes, shoes, and for their second semester of school, they get clothes again for the second part. Some of these kids don't own jackets and stuff like that, so it's pretty good when we can, give them what they need. So please help us out. Don't forget, the 20th at the San Diego Parish Hall. It's the hall right next to the Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. Our Lady of Guadalupe Church, gracious enough, donated the hall for that night. So, we've had a lot of players. Ivy Press is helping us out. We got a lot of people. So tickets available at the Chamber of Commerce and at the Enrique Camarena Library. Also, applications for the talent show, if you want to be in it. Same thing, we'll be there. 2 weeks prior to the event, we're going to have preliminaries, and after that, it's the big show. So thank you, and please show up.
Thank you. Good luck. Mr. Gonzalez, there you were. Go ahead, please.
Oscar Gonzalez, Calexico. I want to congratulate Diana Daniels for her undaunting ability. Reminds me of me.
If I may interrupt you, Mr. Gonzalez. This is regarding item number 4, acknowledge receipt of departmental overtime justification reports for August 2012.
I want to congratulate her anyway
Okay.
for her effort. Is that the overtime?
Yes.
Again, nothing's going to be done. Whatever I say is meaningless. As As long as we have 3 city council.
Mr.
Let me
Gonzalez,
finish,
just
let me
focus on
finish.
the issue.
Let me finish.
Don't go political.
No, wait a minute. You're not going to control my freedom of speech, okay?
And it
Thank
also
you.
says here you will not do any personal attacks, so
No,
please.
that's not a personal attack, it's a
Okay.
fact. And the minutes that you use right now don't count, and let's start right now. I think that the overtime is indicative of the administration, the police chief, and the city council being unable to correct it. In the final analysis, you guys are responsible, because you haven't been able to monitor. I've been here going on 2 years, and even before that. I've been involved since I was in 8th grade, but I came back in 1975. We had tremendous city council, Willie Moreno, Luis Legaspi, Alex Campillo, etc. They did do something for the community. They didn't just give lip service, they did their homework. And I'm sorry to say, Ms. Daniels, nothing's gonna be done. I think you can continue to get frustrated, upset. You're full of vinegar and piss, nothing's gonna get done.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Let me finish. How much time? do we have?
direct your comments to the
Minute
council, not to
15.
the
How
public.
many?
Minute 15.
Okay. You know, the overtime, Mr. Castro, Mr. Hodge repeatedly have asked your council, the administration and the chief, nothing gets done. Look at the 15 pages. No recommendation from the city manager. I don't think that you, or even myself, could read that in 3 days. You get it on Friday. You're not going to do anything about it, Mr. Romero and Mr. Moreno and Ms. Hurtado. You're not going to do nothing. We've been at this corner for over 2 years. So the overtime, it's lip service. Granted, you were elected to uphold the Constitution and work for the city. You're not working for the city. You haven't done nothing to correct the overtime. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for your insight. Ms. Miriam Lucas, Animal Shelter.
Good evening. My name is Miriam Lucas. I'm 18 years old, and I'm currently attending Imperial Valley College as a freshman. I have been living in Calexico for 7 years. I became interested in becoming a volunteer at the Calexico Animal Shelter after I saw an announcement in a social network site created by volunteers Diana Daniels and Sarah Douglas. I am an animal lover, and I didn't hesitate to spend my time and to help unfortunate dogs at the shelter. When I first got to the shelter, I was excited to meet all the dogs, but the feeling vanished when I saw the deplorable conditions they live in. The shelter has several problems, such as algae in their water, food not being changed out daily as a result. There are live maggots mixed in with the food, feces around them, no proper roof, and dogs full of ticks and fleas. As we all know, there is no veterinarian on site at the shelter. Therefore, dogs end up getting sick and with less chances of being adopted when transported to Humane Society. According to PETA.org, a shelter needs to have a veterinarian and a compassionate trained staff. How come in the 21st century animals are living in these horrible conditions? They have rights, but they need people to be their boys. Like Abraham Lincoln said, I am in favor of animal rights as well as human rights. That is the way of a whole human being. A big issue is that the animals are in desperate need of a new roof. Because of the 100-degree weather during the summer, the heat is too much for them. Also during the winter, it will be extremely cold for them to be without a roof. They need to be properly sheltered to survive all these kinds of weather. My friend Serlinde Palafox and I decided to interview people in the city of Calexico to see if they even knew we had an animal shelter. Most replies were a no, that they weren't aware Calexico had a shelter. We need to change the situation. We need the support and voice of the city council members. Like Gandhi said, The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking.
Daniel Fitzgerald, Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening, council members. Daniel Fitzgerald, representing the Calexico Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors this evening. Just wanted to comment on a couple of activities that we've had of late. We had our Back to Business Mixer, and I appreciate the council members being able to come out and attend that. It was a great success. It was well attended by our community. Also, thank the council members that were able to go out, and we were able to work with the consul for the 16th of September celebration that happened this past weekend. And I was unable to attend, but I understand it was a great event. So we'd like to thank you for that. Coming up, we have a candidates forum on October 3rd, Wednesday, October 3rd. That's going to be scheduled at 6 p.m. is the forum. Prior to that, at 4:30 p.m., there's a political rally where candidates are able to set up their tables and be able to talk to the public. But from 6 to 8 p.m., the Chamber of Commerce is scheduling the candidates forum. There are invites that are going out to each of the individual candidates. And if you have any questions, any of the public have questions, you can contact the Chamber of Commerce.
Mr. Fitzgerald, where is it
Yes.
again? Where is it again?
The Cultural Arts Center. And on October 11th is the annual Joint Chamber of Commerce Mixer. This year it will be hosted by the Imperial Chamber of Commerce, and it will be at the Ivy Fairgrounds, and that's from 5:30 to 7:30. That's again October 11th, the Joint Chamber of Commerce Mixer at the Ivy Fairgrounds. And on November 1st, also, we'll be having one of our monthly mixers. And this year, it's at actually one of our new chamber members, which is Hot Rods, which is in Hopeville. They've wanted to host a mixer, and they're actually looking forward to being able to even hopefully bring in a band and have a nice, fun evening, of course, right before an election. So I'm sure plenty will want to go out for that, and that's November 1st. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald. School Board Trustee, Norma Aguilar.
Good evening, council members. Norma Aguilar, 839 Heber Avenue. Just for the record, I'm here as an individual, not as a representative for the school board. I just wanted to share with you, earlier this year, you recognized a young man for his service to the country, Odin Ayala. We attempted to do the same through the school board, but due to his schedule, we were always running into difficulty in terms of being able to come to terms of his availability, and his recuperation is also part of it too. But I'm happy to report to you that we came up with an alternate solution, and that's why I'm here. This Friday will be our first home game. We will be honoring Mr. Sergeant Odin Ayala there at halftime. There will be a patriotic halftime show, and I'm here to, as an individual, to invite you to please attend and to encourage the community to please come and support this young man who has sacrificed so much for his country. We've also asked the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign War to attend. So I hope that we get to see you there, and go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs, yes. Thank you for your announcement. Okay. We'll go to general comments by council members. Councilman Bill Hodge.
Okay, 1 second, please.
Does he get 3 minutes?
Okay. I want to commend Mayor Romero and Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado for being on the subcommittee dealing with the pool. I would like, at your convenience, just an update of what's going on. Now I'm going to say something, and it is no way to undermine the hard work and the focus of the pool in conjunction with the school district. John Moreno and I have discussed this. We were approached by John Renison and Chelsea Corporation, and out of respect of the subcommittee on the pool for the school district, we canceled that meeting. But then I got to thinking, ladies and gentlemen, that there is no conflict of interest, and I like Mr. Moreno's idea. Why not think big? Why not move for 2 pools? We have 1 pool practically in the city of Calexico when we only had 9,000 people. We have close to 40,000. So, and the west side is neglected, so I'd like to, Mr. City Manager, to do some research on the possibility of the Chelsea's proposal. Now, let me make, you're saying, well, here he is talking about Chelsea, and I've been critical about Chelsea. Not really critical about Chelsea, just only the fact that they get good results, but I would like to see other developers in our city. But Chelsea has contributed a lot. So, City Manager, could we have some kind of research about, and maybe set up some meeting if it's possible, with Chelsea and John Renison and anyone else involved about the possible aspect of developing a pool, Olympic-sized pool, over on the west side where the armory is. You know all the facts. Maybe I'm doing wrong. That probably sounds like a future agenda, doesn't it?
Well, could be like a future agenda, but take into consideration that the armory is still being held by the state of California.
Okay, well, that's important information to be told.
Right, so you could have success in a month, but you can't touch it anyway until things are settled with the state and the state with each city.
Okay, it might take a long time, but what the heck? Why don't we get started on it? Huh? Okay, so it's worth looking into, no matter how long it takes. Let's think big. Let's have vision. A complaint from a citizen, we'd follow up on this. The storm drains at Andrade and Holdridge. She says the odor and smell is really, really bad. Can we follow up on that, see what's going on? And, all right, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. Admissions Day. I think that's in the contract that we're closed on admissions day, negotiable with the unions, right? I have inquired, and I've been told that we're only this one city in the valley, correct me if I'm wrong, that we're closed on admissions day. Now, that's an important, I guess, holiday, but correct me if I'm wrong, roughly in the last 2 weeks, the city has only been open out of 2 weeks, and it's unusual for only 6 days out of 2 weeks. We're already closed on Fridays. We have lots of other holidays that deserve to be closed, but I question about admissions day. We need to be open as much as possible. Developers want to come in, people want to pay their water bill. Could we possibly look at, when it comes around next time, negotiating about not being closed on admissions day? Those are my comments for at this point in time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Mr. Moreno.
Yes, and I concur with Mr. Hodge on the pool. I think our city can entertain that concept of west side aquatics and east side aquatics as well. Went to the League of California Cities, where I got the opportunity to network and to professionally grow and see a lot of the new things and a lot of the new exhibits that are out there for the cities in California. One underlying message was that a lot of the cities are going through some tough times, but we have to look at ways to generate that sales tax revenue. And I think we're on the right track with some of the projects that we have, so we need to stay the course. And I know that this is, you've heard this already, but that is critical if we want our community to continue moving forward. Also went to El Grito, which was an outstanding event at the Crummett Park. Congratulations to our mayor, who gave a very, very nice speech to the citizens that were present. Also, I've been wondering about the gun club and if we're going to relocate that. I know that we have a big law enforcement sector, in whether it be local, county, or federal. And I was wondering if we were going to supplement or have a gun club once this one is gone. So that's something that we didn't really consider with moving this project forward, but I think we should consider that. And if we don't, I know that the Luna family needs to make sure that that plaque in honor of Horacio Luna does not get stored or thrown away, that there is something that we can do with that plaque for Mr. Luna.
Maybe that plaque can accompany the new installation.
Perhaps. I think it's a good thing. And with regard to Admissions Day, we take Admissions Day as the Calexico Unified School District in Thanksgiving. So maybe if the city may want to take Admissions Day on a Friday in Thanksgiving, El Puente.
We already get it.
You already get it? Oh, right, you already get the Friday. Hello, okay. Well, just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Castro.
No comments at this time.
Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado.
I do have a few. Sadly, today, we said goodbye to a very fine gentleman with our school district, and I had the opportunity to visit with him today and say goodbye to him, Dr. Richard Fregali, at the Calexico Unified School District this afternoon. They surprised him with a presentation by the, not the drill team, but the...
Cheerleaders?
No. Drumline, yes, thank you, Norma. That was a sad moment, but at the same time, we're very, very thankful to Dr. Fregali for the hard work that he provided to the school district, and in conjunction with this council, basically saved our district from being taken over by the state. So thank you very much, Dr. Fregali. We did visit then the League of California Cities last week, and as a matter of fact, there was one of the presentations that I'm not sure if my compañeros here had an opportunity to listen in on that one. I think I was there with you, Bill, about volunteers. And that, remember, that nowadays, many of the cash-strapped communities are having volunteers work with them consistently. And I hear you, Diana. I know that this council, Mr. Hodge and Mr. Moreno, will be working with you to ensure that the city gives their part. But volunteers are being asked of to participate in cities quite a bit more than before. And from what you're doing there with the animal shelter to helping make websites, it's a matter of trying to use all resources right now at this point. So I found that to be a very interesting presentation and very useful, especially like with what we were talking about today. Continue to hear quite a bit about parks, and there is quite a bit of information that has been learned since our last visit here at the council. And I think I still need a little bit more information out there as far as what we can do to, once and for all, kind of settle in our structure for the community. I know that right now the staff is going through fertilizing and reseeding the fields. So I know that there is a big project. They're taking parks one at a time. I'm going to ask the community to please be patient with that. We need to allow those parks to reseed and grow back. And I know that this is a really active community, but those parks need to be allowed to just breathe a little and let that grass grow back and make it green, because when the field has green grass, it makes a huge difference and it's beautiful. So I know that I've seen a difference. I hope you have as well. And so we're going to continue working on that. We do have a pool meeting tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
We're going to be having a pool meeting tomorrow or Thursday?
Thursday.
With our new interim, Maria Ambris, and that will also include Mr. Renison, so hopefully we'll be able to bring that up at that meeting. The September 16th, El Grito was a very, very well-attended occasion. I was highly surprised on how loud Gina Cruz Blackledge, our council, can scream. She is a very petite woman, and she did a great job. And there was great entertainment, and again, a lot of people were there, and it was a very beautiful night, so I was very, very pleased to be there and enjoy that evening with everyone. So I think that is all my information today.
Thank you. Okay, regarding Parks and Recreation, I would ask you two subcommittee members, Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado and Councilman Castro, to resume having meetings to discuss the issues that have been shared by the community, and not only by the community, by members of this council. At the prior council meeting, I mentioned that some repairs or some maintenance was required at La Casita Park. It was also mentioned that the bathrooms at the parks were a huge disappointment in its upkeep. I would ask of you two to meet with, I guess, with Advanced Services. I believe they're supposed to maintain the conditions of the parks as well as the bathrooms that are at the parks. So hopefully, maybe by the next council meeting, we can have some kind of a report in how that thing is going. Obviously, arrange with the city manager, which members of the staff should be part of this meeting. And the issue about, it was presented by Director Servin about going forward with some water fountains and park benches. Obviously, with our type of a community, the heat factor, it is something that should be looked at. If it has not been continued to do so, it was referred to by a member of the audience as a mockery, but I can assure you that that comment in itself was more of a disrespect to the staff members that have been actively pursuing the park benches and the water fountains. Ms. Carmen Estrada has already left. I was hoping that she would give some kind of information regarding the event coming this Saturday. Director Servin is not present, but I was hoping that at the September 4th council meeting, Mr. Luis Soberanes had some concerns regarding the heavy traffic at Cesar Chavez School and had an idea on how to remedy it. I was wondering if he was able to meet with Mr. Soberanes and whatever staff members to get this thing looked at and see if any solution is reachable. City Manager Rodriguez, also at the same meeting on the 4th, Mr. Jose Aldazoro had concerns about an empty lot on 1000 Paulin Avenue. You mentioned it would be looked at. I figure that Mr. Servin will give that report, and he's not here today. I guess I'll ask you, I don't know, maybe Mr. Ralph Morales, I'd like to know what's the status on the Melrose store downtown that is still under repair from the Easter Sunday earthquake. Can somebody please give us what's going on with it? Well, I tell you what, Mr. Morales, can you please have a report included at the next council meeting? And hopefully it's something where there's going to be a final solution to this?
Once and for all.
We pressed all the downtown businesses to get their sites repaired. We have to do the same thing with Melrose. Finance Director Quinn has been requested to continue to have the business license report at each council meeting and kept updated to inform the council and the community if our local businesses are meeting their city obligations. There is no report in today's agenda. Please make sure it's at the next council meeting and every meeting thereafter. Also bring to your attention, I'm going to guess City Manager or Mr. Finley, he was there, you were. During the storms, the windstorms that we were having and some of the heavy rain, it was noted, I think you made a mention on it, Councilman Moreno, regarding Rockwood and Paulin Avenues having limited lighting. I heard a report that one of the things that I saw is that one side of the street has lighting and not the other side. So in a sense, one side of the street is a little darker than the other one, and it's going to be that much more darker when there's a new moon. So maybe there's something that can be done with lighting around down these two avenues. And I understand that there are some lights down either on Rockwood or on Paulin. Wednesday through Friday, September the 5th and 7th, as mentioned, council members John Moreno, Bill Hodge, Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado, City Manager Rodriguez, and yours truly. We attended the annual conference by the League of California Cities. It was a 3-day conference that furnished a mix of laws and regulations, rules and guidelines, ideas and concepts all intended on how to maximize the operation at City Hall with the eventual benefit to our citizens. On the 13th, Community Services Director Sandra Toller, Recreation Manager Carmen Maldonado hosted their annual Grandparents' Day at the Community Center. Thank you both for hosting a very successful event. Keep up the excellent work. I'll mention Friday the 14th, we had a hiccup with our resources, the Cultural Arts Center. Club El Rodan was going to have an event at the Cultural Arts Center. The facilities was not in condition to host such an event. Fortunately, the city manager was involved, as well as, I understand, Councilman Castro, as well as yours truly, and the club was able to have a very successful event at the community center. I was there from about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I stepped away. I came back at 6 and was there till 9 o'clock. And Mr. Risen also was there present, as was Mr. Ortega. And I believe they'll agree that it was a successful event, even under the dire circumstances or conditions. I hope that's been looked at, City Manager. Has it been visited? And I'm sure you have a plan on how to...
We're contacting the owners to see what we can do.
Okay, thank you. Also, it wasn't mentioned, which I was surprised, the Calexico High School Bulldogs, 3-0. How about them Bulldogs?
Yes, about.
Mr. Moreno, I thought you would have made a comment about that.
Well, I'd rather have you make the comment.
No, thank you.
There'll be 4-0 after Friday.
The City of Calexico, as mentioned by Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado, regarding we were honored in having Consul Gina Cruz host the annual El Grito for Mexico's independence. It was an incredible success and continued to be even after the main attraction. Singer Susana Hart finished with her singing, and what a voice she has. Okay, now we'll proceed to the consent calendar. What are the wishes of the council?
I'd like to pull item number 1
Item number 1
for a small correction.
I'll pull item number 5.
I move to approve the consent calendar minus item number 1 and number 5.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion to approve consent calendar items 2, 3, and 4. Please press the button to display your vote. Passes unanimously, 5-0. Item number 1. Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado.
Luli, Ms. Cordova, on page 3, under general comments of city council members, 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs down. At the end, the last sentence says, she asked Councilman Castro to meet with her so they can continue doing their work. If you don't mind, could you add to that, doing their work as a subcommittee as appointed by the council? Just to clarify, it's important that we note that we do have a subcommittee for parks.
That's it? You want a motion for its approval?
Motion for its approval?
Second.
Okay, motion by Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado, second by Councilman Moreno. Please press the button to display your vote. Okay, City Manager Rodriguez, or I don't know if it's Director Findley or who, but I think you know where I'm going at with this item.
Yeah, item number 5, you did make a comment to us during briefings in reference to why certain areas of Cole Road was left out. Mr. Finley will go ahead and address it, and it's based on funding and the fact that we are getting funding from another source. The timing should not be that far off, as I understand it. Construction should begin the beginning of the year on that phase, but it'll save us about $800,000. But I'll let Mr. Finley go ahead and address that.
Good evening, City Council. Nick Finley, Director of General Services. I believe your question as to why a portion of Cole Boulevard from Highway 111 to ML King wasn't on the list of the street overlay project. We were able to obtain some grant funding through through the state and ICTC for that section of street. Okay, we put it on as an item where we're able to get $640,000 from a grant for that portion of the street, with our contribution of $120 as a matching fund, which comes out to a total of about $760,000. So we thought it'd be best that we use the grant money for that section and not use our Measure D money, the whole $760,000. And that's why it's been put into one of our Measure D expenditure reports on the funding. We expect it to be, it's on this year's fiscal year. So we're expecting the construction to start, hopefully once it gets allocated and gets funded. We're just waiting for Caltrans to advise us and send us the initial report on it, and it'll be taken care of. So we thought it'd be best that we use this federal funding as a grant money in order to save ourselves some money and do another street. So that's where we're at.
I would hate to repeat a comment that was made earlier today regarding how things go forward or do not. This is something that has been pushed for over a year.
Correct.
And then when this thing was tabled in February due to the bidding process, this is, don't worry, it'll be done in September. We're here in September, and before September, as the months were coming along, it was assured that it was going to be handled as one of the initial projects in September. Now we're going to be pushing it another several months.
What happened was when the ICCC called for projects, it calls for projects on all the cities that are part of ICCC. Those type of grant money is only allowed on certain type of streets. Not all streets qualify, depending if it's an arterial, a collector, or whatever. It has to have a certain designation in order for us to be able to obtain grant funding for that street. We happened to bring up that one street, and it got accepted. And so that's the reason why we felt, well, if we use the grant money for it, we'll be able to do other streets and get more for our bang of our dollar than it was if we put the whole $762,000 into it. So, and just to give you a little history on this, back in June 19th of this year, when they brought the street improvement projects before you for your approval to advertise, the list of the streets which you guys approved, it doesn't have that section of Cole Boulevard in it. So the advertisement went with streets you guys had approved that time. I wasn't here at that meeting, so I don't know what presentation Mr. Servin gave you, but my copy, I checked, and it's not on here. But we can guarantee you we're going to push this forward and try and get that piece of street done because it's desperately needed.
When? Roughly?
Roughly, as soon as we get the okay from Caltrans to start the construction phase. So it could be...
Couple of months, 3 months? 5 months?
I expect it to be next month.
Well, so you're saying that this project or the Cole Boulevard?
Cole Boulevard.
Between 111
that will help.
and Martin Luther King?
Correct.
Well, just beyond it, you believe it'll initiate in a month?
We expect to get the okay, the go-ahead from Caltrans at the end of October.
Okay. Before, there was concern not to go into the summer because the heat was not going to be able to permit it to cure.
Correct.
We don't have any concerns that the cold might kick in and not be permitted to cure.
Plans, everything is ready to go. All we have to do is advertise it, and it should be out. And if everything goes well, we should be looking at the construction starting the first of the year.
Okay, now, you just mentioned right now that you might be able to start in a month.
Correct.
Or 2 months. Where, have we approved it already by the council? Does it have to come before the council? Do you have a bidding process?
We have a bidding process. It's going to be, as soon as we get the okay, they don't allow us to advertise or do anything until they give us their approval.
Okay, so once
Contingent on Caltrans approval.
Right,
Correct.
once Caltrans gives you the approval, what follows?
We come before you saying we're going to put it out for bids. You guys give us the okay, we put it out for bids. We put it out for 45 days, the requirement, and then you guys award it, and then construction can
So
start.
October is a little bit optimistic, isn't it?
No, I'm saying October. We should get the okay from Caltrans in October, the end of October, is the timeline we're expecting. So as soon as we get that okay from them, because we got to have it in hand, and once we have that, then we'll advertise. We'll come before you to advertise.
So we're not going to have anything done at least until the early part of the next year.
That's what I said, January, first part of next year, which is still within January to May, where we can overlay. And
January to May. I like
right.
that.
As soon as
Like
it gets any hotter than that, we can't use that type of system.
Well, I hope you start no later than January, because when April comes around,
And what I'll do
it'll
is,
get hot.
as it progresses, I'll keep you updated.
All right. As much as I am disappointed with this action, I will motion for its approval. We need to get the other streets done.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion by yours truly, since I was the one that pulled the item, second by Councilman Hodge. Please press the button to display your vote. Thank you, Mr. Finley, for the report. You already had your opportunity in your 3 minutes. No, after that. You had an opportunity after that. I'm not going to permit you to continue to interrupt this meeting, Mr. Gonzalez. We're going to go to business items. Consent calendar number 5 has already been approved. Business items number 6, ordinance relating to appointment process for the city clerk and the city clerk's employment status. Mr. Gonzalez, regarding this issue, you have this item on your oral ordinance relating to appointment process for the city clerk and the city clerk's employment status. And please focus on that issue.
You know, this is regarding the city treasurer?
The city clerk.
Okay. You know, I was trying to say, but you rudely interrupted me and denied my freedom of speech like you usually do.
Okay, you got reporters here that be willing to hear you
Anyway,
out in front of City
you know, I
Hall
said the last
to
time
acknowledge
that-
your freedom of
No, I
speech,
said
so
that-
go ahead.
That
I'm not yelling, you're yelling.
the fact
Do not
that-
yell.
The fact that people voted is irrelevant. In the South, in 1865 to 1965, white people made laws that didn't necessarily make it right.
Kim Carlos.
And it was President Johnson in 1965 that blacks were given the vote in the South. It seems to me that people that voted for clerk, and they weren't aware of the check and balance. But you're going to do what you want to do, and I'm happy you're leaving in January. And we're going to have a new council come January.
Stay on the item, sir.
No, but anyway, let me just say.
Focus on the item.
Let me say, you know what? I don't understand. Nick Finley was caught in a photo working on one of your political signs. I don't.
Focus on the item, Mr. Gonzalez.
Well-
You're not on the item.
Well, anyway, so in conclusion, you know, it seems to me that the council should do that. Why do you want to give the city manager more responsibility when you were elected to set policy? But you're going to do what you want, you, Hurtado, Ms. Hurtado, and Moreno. But I'm happy and I'm tickled to death that it's only going to last for 90 more days. Because I know, I want to see Mr. Kim get elected in Hermosillo.
And I'm sure they'll appreciate that very much.
Yeah, but I think there's only one seat. I think Mr. Moreno's very strong. And I know Luis is going to get reelected. I don't think you are.
And that's your opinion? So you're
Well,
getting
we're
off,
gonna see
you're off
we're-
focus.
we're gonna see
Mr.
the
Gonzalez, we're
results
going
come
to no
November
longer
the 5th. How
continue.
much time do I
will
have?
not
How
no
much
longer.
time do I have?
I said, stay on the item, you
How
did
much
not.
time?
You have no more
Moreno?
time left on the time.
Mr. Moreno,
Eh.
how much more time?
You have no more time, Mr. Gonzalez.
No, wait a minute.
No.
Anyway, Mr. Romero, you have trouble conducting meetings, you know, and you accused and voted to get Mr. Castro out as mayor. You don't even know.
Mr.
parliamentary
Gonzalez, Mr. Chief, I knew you were walking out for a reason. Do you want me to proceed, Mr. Gonzalez?
Do what you want to do. It doesn't scare me.
It's not a question of scare tactics. Do you want to remain in the meeting?
You know, Mr. Romero, are you threatening me?
I'm asking you if you want to stay in the meeting.
I don't give a rat's ass.
Okay, and for your information, Mr. Gonzalez, and the rest of the council and the community, At the council meeting on January the 10th, it was a unanimous 5-0, including your two candidates, your candidate, Mr. Castro, and Mr. Hodge, all voted in favor. And not only that, Mr. Moreno and Mr. Hodge were motioned and seconded. That's how it went to the people's election. The city clerk and for the treasurer. No, this is not, this is your council member, your candidate, also voting 5-0. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. God bless America, that's right. The democratic process was honored. There's no threat there, Mr. Gonzalez. Okay, item number 6. There's nobody else here. There's no other oral communications here regarding this issue. I'll go straight to city manager and city attorney.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the item before you is an action to adopt an ordinance to establish the appointment process for the city clerk position. Due to the time constraints of getting an ordinance adopted and effective before the appointment of the city clerk position is necessary, attached to this staff report are 2 alternative ordinances drafted pursuant to council direction on both August 21st and on September 4th. So attachment A is proposal number 1, and that's the proposed ordinance for retaining the city council appointment authority for the city clerk. It includes the council's recommendation that there be a council subcommittee and the city manager who evaluate applicants and make a recommendation to the city council. So that would mean under option number 1, which is attachment A, that would mean the city council would appoint. They would also supervise the day-to-day activity of the city clerk, performance evaluations, dismissal, etc. Option number 2, which is attachment B, is the ordinance that was put before the council based on your direction on August 21st, which was to have the city manager appoint the city clerk. A few changes were made, so essentially the appointment by the city manager would be subject to the approval of the city council, and also a contract would need to come before the city council to approve. And I also added to this the idea that prior to the appointment of the city clerk by the city manager, a committee consisting of city manager and 2 members of the council may be appointed by the council to evaluate the applicants and make a recommendation on the appointment. So it does retain some city council evaluation and involvement in the process. So either ordinance can be introduced tonight and put forward in the process so that we would have second reading at the next council meeting, and it would go into effect before November 6th when the current city clerk's position will expire at that time. If you have any questions or recommendations, please let me know.
City manager, you wish to add anything before we go to the council?
No, sir.
Okay, comments by the members of the council, since there are no other oral communications on this item. Mr. Moreno?
I'll pass for now.
Mr. Hodge?
Oh, no comment.
Mr. Castro?
No comments.
Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado?
I just would feel that alternative number 2 is probably best, being the nature of the services that the city clerk provides to the city, and that, for example, at this point, the city manager oversees anyway. It would just be a natural decision to go with alternative number 2.
So that's your motion?
I motion that we accept alternative number 2,
Option B?
option B. Attachment B.
Right.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Please press the button to display your vote. Okay, it passes 3-2.
Mr. Mayor, I do need to read the title of the ordinance.
Please go, please
It's
do so.
an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Calexico amending Section 2.02.110 of Chapter 2.02 of the Calexico Municipal Code and adding Chapter 2.07, City Clerk, to Title II, Administration and Personnel, regarding the appointment process and duties of the city clerk. And for clarification, this is where the city manager would make the appointment, but it would be subject to approval of the city council. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll go to adopt first reading by title only, item number 7, waive full reading of an ordinance of the Council of the City of Calexico amending various sections of Title II, Title III, Title V, Title VI, Title 16, and deleting Section 2.38.050 of the Calexico Municipal Code regarding the Finance Director/City Treasurer, and approval of the resolution of the City Council of the City of Calexico establishing the compensation for the Finance Director/City Treasurer as required by Government Code Section 36517. I'll direct to the City Attorney and to the City Manager if necessary.
Well said, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. At the council meeting on September 4th, the City Council provided direction to staff to prepare the necessary documents for delegation of the appointment authority for the City Treasurer to the City Manager, and also to combine the duties of the City Treasurer and the Finance Director into a single position. So the ordinance before the council tonight authorizes that dual position, delegates the appointment authority to the City Manager, clarifies it's an at-will position, and it also, because the municipal code has many references to city treasurer and finance officer, we had to go through and make many adjustments so that it is now the finance director/city treasurer position. In addition to the ordinance that is before the council tonight for introduction, the council would need to approve a resolution to establish the compensation of the dual position, and essentially it is just the same compensation that's already being paid to the finance director. The only difference would be that there would be a $75 per month stipend for the performance of city treasurer duties. And if council has any questions, please let me know.
Any comments by the, Mr. Moreno? No? Mr. Hodge?
Just to mention that previously, the treasurer also had benefits, and that no longer will exist.
Right, because it's combined into one position. The finance director is just one person.
So
and
there's
he gets
another additional
benefits.
savings.
Yeah, so there's not two separate benefit packages.
Clarification. Along with the $75 stipend, is there an additional amount that they receive?
No.
Or is it
Well,
just that?
Just that for the city
For the city
treasurer
treasurer.
positions. The finance director is already under contract for a certain salary, and that's going to remain the same.
Any further comments? Now, if I understand the recommendation, we have 3 motions to approve.
Yes, 3 motions.
Okay, is there a motion to introduce the ordinance establishing the position of city treasurer/finance officer, establishing the appointment process for the position, clarifying the employment status and duties and position, and amending various provisions of the municipal code to update position titles? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado, second by Mr. Moreno. Please press the button to display your vote. Passes 3-2.
And Mr. Mayor, before we move on, let me please read the ordinance title, and then you can move on. It's an ordinance of the Council of the City of Calexico amending various sections of Title I, Title II, Title III, Title V, Title VI, Title X, and Title 16, and deleting Section 2.38.050 of the Calexico Municipal Code regarding the Finance Director/City Treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you. Second item on this second section of this item. Approve the resolution establishing the compensation for the city treasurer/finance officer. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Actually, it's a correction, is director.
Second.
Okay, correction, director. Okay, motion by Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado, second by Mr. Moreno. Please press the button to display your vote. Mr. Moreno? Passes 3-2. Item number 3, direct the city manager to take all additional actions necessary to establish the city treasurer/finance officer/director position, including development of a revised job description for the position and amendment of related employment contracts.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado, second by Councilman Moreno. Please press the button to display your vote. Passes majority 3-2. Okay, now we go item number 8. Discussion and interaction on consideration to enter a subrecipient agreement with the Imperial Valley Small Business Development Center, also known as IVSBDC, for technical assistance to micro enterprise businesses.
Honorable Mayor, council members, this item comes before you in that the city applied for a grant in 2011 under CDBG and was awarded $500,000, of which was split between a technical assistance for microeconomic businesses as well as a expansion of our enterprise facade loan/grant program that we currently have. The structure here is that the technical assistance portion of the grant, we would go ahead and partner up with Imperial Valley Small Business Development Corp. Center, who has the resources to be able to provide our small businesses with the technical assistance needed so that we can grow our microeconomic businesses, and therefore also by growing them, taking advantage of our facade loan and grant loan program. Having said that, we have with us the director of the Imperial Valley Small Business Development Center, Mr. Carlos Figari, I hope I pronounced that correctly. And Carlos I'd asked him to come in today to give you a little bit of background as to who SBDC is, so that you could get a flavor for who it is that we're partnering up with in this partnership to grow our microeconomic businesses, and where they would provide the technical assistance and turn them over to us so that hopefully as their growth continues, we could put them into our programs. With that, I'll introduce Carlos again.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, city staff, and guests. Good evening to all. My name is Carlos Figari. I started as a director of the Imperial Valley Small Business Development Center in November of 2011. And with my center manager and business consultant, Silvia Marroquin, we identified folks in the community that we can partner up, such as the subrecipient agreement that you have before you. Just to give you a little bit of background on who we really are and what is it that we actually do. The Small Business Development Center was created through the SBA, the Small Business Administration, through an act of Congress back in 1950. And what we actually do is provide one-on-one counseling to existing and brand new business owners, as far as marketing plans and financial assistance to actually help them understand what they're getting into as a business owner. The financial assistance is in actually teaching them exactly how to balance their finances. So what you have before you is a collaboration with, we actually worked very hard with Julia Osuna, and we identified a program, not just loaning money or giving a grant, is actually we created a course curriculum for the Calexico business owners that entails 45 hours of a classroom time that these business owners have to attend, and I will actually be teaching it with my colleagues. And it will, what I developed was 5 courses: Introduction to Entrepreneurship and exactly what they're getting into, and how they can actually prosper, understanding their finances, marketing their business for success, creating a business plan. I teach business plan at Arizona Western College as a professor of entrepreneurship, so I have a lot of experience in bringing everything that they need to do, and what the capstone program at the end, they will have their business plan done, a real business plan, because a lot of these folks already doing it. I'm just a coach. I'm just getting them all their faces of their business synchronized so they can actually succeed and be able to, at the end of this program, there's a win-win. They either are able to apply for these loans that the city of Calexico is going to give them, or they will be put in a training mode and getting them ready so they can apply. So no one loses this by being part of this program. They either do it now or they will actually do it at a later time. So this was customized for you. We address what are the needs and how we can address it. Now, beyond this 45 hours, here is the beauty of it. When these clients become our own clients of the Imperial Valley SPDC, they can get consistent counseling beyond their 45 hours. So if they need something in QuickBooks of how to address marketing issues, they can come, and it's a no cost to them, provided that they actually do the work. I don't do it for them, I do it with them. So I have consultants that specialize in QuickBooks, social media, HR, everything that these business owners need to be able to succeed. So that's what we have created for you, and I'm very excited because I'm a very passionate person, and what drives me on a daily basis is seeing these business owners grow, and that is exciting that I can bring it to your community right here, and I'm really looking forward to reporting to you on a quarterly basis. These courses are going to be given on a quarterly basis. 35 to 40 business owners will be identified, and they will come to the class. We will make it fun, and they will be working on their business while they're attending the class. So they will, by the end of that 45 hours, they will know what adjustments they have to make to their existing business to succeed, or if they're getting brand new, they're going to get a real eye view of what they're getting into so they do not fail. And that's really what this is all about for you.
Mr. Figari, right?
Sir.
Okay. Please don't step away. I know I'll have some questions. I don't know if the other council members will. Permit me to go to the public for their comments. Mr. Gonzalez? No comments. Okay, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes, good evening again, Daniel Fitzgerald. I actually serve as the co-chair of the advisory committee for the IVSBDC, and I just want to speak in support of this and the technical assistance that Mr. Figari and his staff with Ms. Marroquin can certainly provide. The micro enterprises here in Calexico, and they certainly have the capabilities to do this. They have the resources to do this. Of course, SBDC is a network throughout the state of California, so they can rely on many, many different resources to be able to help the businesses grow here and really make this program a success.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald. Okay, well, let's go to one of the basic questions. Can you please define a small business?
Who qualifies?
A small business is anything under 500 employees.
Under 500 employees?
500 employees. And by the way, I forgot the most important thing. The state of California looked at a subrecipient agreement that we created with Julia and everyone in the city, and they want to use it as a model for the entire state of what we have put in here. So that's something that I need to commend your city staff, because Julia Osuna was very instrumental in coming together and creating this partnership for us.
Thank you, Ms. Osuna. People who are already in business that have less than 500 employees, can they take advantage of your services?
Absolutely. You bring them, and I will help them.
Anyway, thank you. Any, Mayor Pro Tem?
Is there a cost for the participants?
The only cost is you better be in class. No cost.
This is taken care of through the grant. The other thing that I think is important to mention is that these classes will actually be held in Calexico.
That's where my next question
So
was.
that's very, very important. I think we're holding them at the Tech Center. Yes. The Tech Center.
And when do they start?
Start in January.
Okay.
How many participants are you allowing to?
I'd like to get up to 40
40.
each quarter. So spread the word. I need your help.
You
Could-
have
could
overages
we-
on that.
So 45 days, 9 weeks, we're looking at.
Yes.
Okay.
It's 45 hours. There's going to be little sections, so if, for example, a business owner missed certain sections, I divided it in five segments, so if they miss course 101 in the first quarter, they can come back in second quarter and take that course 101, and they will actually complete it. So it does have built-in flexibility, so they're able to take advantage. The goal of this is to get them so producing, so they can actually generate sales tax and generate positiveness for the city of Calexico.
Carlos, just if I may, Mr. Mayor, I think it's important. Why don't you just briefly, real briefly, because I know we're getting into the night here, talk about the different courses. You got 5 courses and what they are and what that'll entail them to do when you get to the capstone in the end.
Okay. Course number 1 is the introduction to entrepreneurship. They will be further prepare students to own, operate, and manage a small business and learn to recognize what adjustments they need to make it profitable. Course number 2 is understanding finances. Not only are they going to do their business finance, but they're going to go and do their personal finance. A banker looks at both of them, side by side when they're looking at them. Course 103 is managing your business success. They're going to understand how to market their business. Just putting a sign out is not what it's all about. So besides, they're going to be able to do person to person, but they're going to be taught how to do social media correctly and consistently. Course 104 is the actual business plan. I have a template business plan that they will follow. I divided it in 8 sections, so they're going to go section by section and complete the actual headings. And that business plan meets SBA 8A certification. So if they ever needed to do business with SBA, they don't need to reinvent the wheel. The plan is already done. And actually, the capstone is I will help them, or we will help them get their application completed. So when they come to you, they're not bouncing all over. They already know what they need, and they either can apply now, or they will know what they need to better themselves out to be able to qualify for it. So that's what this is all going to be. That's what this entails. Besides that, the in-kind that we're going to give them beyond the 45 hours is the one-on-one counseling that so long as they're in business, so long as that they actually need it, it is available to them, because the SPDC is 1,000 centers throughout the United States. So if I don't know something, I can call on anyone and say, I need assistance on this special item, and the client gets it. So that's the beauty of it.
Thank you. One other question. And I asked the city manager about this. Back in August, Councilman Castro and yours truly attended a similar micro enterprise deal with Richard Ortega in the neighborhood house over there at the hot dogs.
Yes.
Now, how does that work? Does it work in a parallel course as the other program?
They do a different. Some of those micro enterprise loans have smaller loan limits. So I created this for you.
Okay.
To address the need of the existing business owners. What they have is something similar in a smaller scale.
And I believe that those businesses could also participate under our program to get more knowledge so that they could then move forward.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Sir, as an educator, I was looking at this, and I commend you. I think this is excellent curriculum.
Thank you.
I was thinking of my daughter and students. It would be wonderful if it was possible that the city could employ your services for at least the first 4 courses for students of any age that want to be entrepreneurs in the future. Has that ever happened? Do you provide those kinds of services?
We can talk about that, see how I cannot be employed by you while I'm working with the SBDC, but we can probably do something that we can achieve the education to young entrepreneurs as a service. to
Many
the
of our
community.
young entrepreneurs can't afford the tuition of colleges, and this would be a wonderful thing for young people or any person at age that wants to learn about business plan and how to go into business.
All they need to do is come and see us. We will enroll them as a client, and if they have a vital business that they want to do, I will assist them. That's not a problem.
That would be another program you're referring to.
Just, yeah, it'll be on a
All right, I'll
one-on-one.
discuss this with city manager and your fellow council members, but I think that's a great idea. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Piggyback on that, Mr. Hodge, maybe it's something that you can, or Mr. Moreno, you can address with the school district.
Not a subcommittee, please.
No. With the school district to see if, not on this one, if maybe the school can offer an external course kind of thing.
Excellent idea, Mr. Mayor.
So, any other comments? No. All right. Thank you, Mr. Frigan.
Thank you.
Motion for its approval.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado, second by Councilman Hodge. Please press the button to display your vote.
Great presentation.
Mr. Moreno? But already cleared, 5-0. Okay, discussion, interaction, and our direction on establishing a city hotline for the public. I'll first direct it to Councilman Hodge.
This proposal that I have made, and I appreciate that it's on the agenda, is more of an attempt to democratize our city government. I believe it enhances the democratic process more for our city of Calexico. And this idea came from the town hall meetings. And I just see it as another tool or vehicle or opportunity for citizens to communicate their concerns or questions to the city, this particular citizen hotline. I need to be clear about what my intentions are, so in order to understand clearly what I would propose or permit me to do is sort of visualize this as it actually would be working and provide examples. We would have a citizen hotline in its use. The citizens at any time of the day, the business hours, or any time, because they leave a message, would call the hotline and leave that message. Now, they might communicate concerns such as there's an increased amount of graffiti in their neighborhood, or a street light is out, or at a particular park, the watering system is not working, a variety. Now, let me note that it has to be worked out that this is not in conflict with the calls that go into emergency or police or fire. That can be worked out. Then the call is properly directed. Someone is going to be, by city manager, designated to properly direct these calls to the appropriate departments for execution or follow-up. We don't know what the citizens are caring about out there. They don't come here. We need to have more vehicles or avenues for them. That's our obligation. The idea of, well, they're apathetic, they don't care. If they care, they come. I don't buy that. We need to step up. So furthermore, citizens may have significant questions pertaining to city operations or events. So it's them leaving their concerns, specific concerns. It's also that they might have some questions about the city or anything that's coming up. In addition, it could work both ways. At any time of the day, the citizen council can call in, and we would listen to the daily messages, and if appropriate, we would follow up or inquire with the city staff Or how about this? Actually, us call the citizen one-on-one and express our concern. They like that. Finally, maybe the citizens can call in and they can also hear important information that the city wishes to communicate. So it can work both ways. And that would be decided by city manager and staff what might be important. Like, for instance, an unusual closing of the border. We could put that message there. We could tell them that the border is going to be closed for 3 or 4 hours for whatever reason. That would be helpful. Or anything else that the city might feel, or upcoming events. So it can be both ways. So I think we are democratizing. We have our city council meeting, but it should not be solely the instrument of public voice. We have the town hall meetings, and I think that I would like for us to move forward on working out a citizen hotline. And I entertain and respect any other modifications or insights or considerations. So thank you, council. That's what this is about. I hope I made it clear.
Any comments by the council? Mr. Hodge, you have a concept there. Maybe, I guess we ask the city manager if you have comments? Go ahead. No, I was going like this. My apologies. Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado.
My only concern is, by looking at an overburdened staff that we have already, short on staff, short on hours available, what cost burden would we be placing on this staff with this service, with this hotline? That would be my number one consideration right now is we're already working them to the bone. Where would we fit a service like this, and who would be responsible of this staff that we have at this point?
It's a good insight. As we inquire, we might find out that it might not be that much of an overburden.
Yeah,
So it would be
that would be my
something that have to
concern.
be concerned and worked out.
Yeah, the cost and the burden, and if, for example, all these different needs that the citizens have at this time, we do have quite a number of different departments that are published and available by dialing 411 or what have you, and those services are being provided, but you're trying to pinpoint to someone, one certain person, who would that person be?
Has to be worked out.
And what would be the cost? That's my concern. And if this were to work, I believe it'd be very important to know that first.
Well, if the council gives direction to look at it, that would be one of the things we'd look at. Obviously, the staff, as we move forward to try to put our finances in order, as we've said time and time again, that's going to require a reduction of staff because of our benefit packages, and most of our expenses are on personnel costs. As we go through that painful procedure, we're going to have to address what is important, what are our priorities, because we can't do everything. At some point in time, we're going to be reaching critical mass where there's only so much we can do. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you we can't do it. We do our best with what we've got. But again, the reality is that as the economy goes, then we go, and so we have to make those adjustments. So again, if council desires to give direction to look into it, we certainly will, and we will do the best we can.
Not that it's not a good idea, Mr. Hodge, it's definitely a great idea. We want to be able to provide those services, but we do need to be considerate of what that would cost this city to be able to provide that.
I like the idea. We have places to put comments here at City Hall. How is that? Do we have an overwhelming suggestions or opinions that go into that box?
We have very few, to be very honest with you.
If anybody has a concern or a complaint, would they normally call the city clerk's office or the front office here? And would that get to you or to any department head?
Well, that's difficult to figure out how many people are not calling. Yeah, if they do call in, we certainly try to filter it to the proper department to handle.
Do you get a lot of concerns through email?
Personally, I don't. That doesn't mean, again, that doesn't mean it's hard to quantitate how many people actually want to call in or leave a message. That's very difficult to say.
We do. Okay, so that's already,
I feel good about saying, as a department head, I receive probably 1 or 2 messages a day from Gabby. And then as well as a department, we have police at calexico.ca.gov. We also receive complaints there.
right, we would probably, would it be practical to perhaps have one person fielding these calls, listening to what is a clearinghouse, if you will?
Well, that's what we would look at, and I don't want to define at this point what it would be, but yes, my thought would be it'd have to be one person who would have to look at these on a daily basis so that we could get them out to
And they're
people.
phone calls?
Correct.
On a machine?
Correct.
And do we know, well, probably don't know, but I mean, other cities probably have some form of hotline. I would like to say they do.
I want to be
Maybe
the
would-
first.
You know, we could look into that too as well. Do you know of any other cities, Mr. Hodge, that may perhaps have a hotline?
No, I'd like to be the first. Let's think big. Your comment on...
With a big
on-
red phone.
I think the mode of communication for people, some people don't have computers, believe it or not. I think that it's more accessible of a number for people to call.
And I'm not
So I
saying it's a
think-
bad idea.
No, you bring
I'm
up some
looking at
very good
practicality.
concerns. Yeah, the practicality. But I think the number and the call is more accessible for people of all levels in our community. And I think that they would be more apt to call than to email or to come in and fill something out.
So basically, a phone line with the answering machine that's open at 7:20, everybody has answering machines. Somebody would call in, they have a concern, they leave a message, and that's
Right.
it.
We would put it on, obviously, we identify it in the directory. The only thing that we got to filter out is, I heard something about being able to call in and get the messages, so we'll have to figure that out.
Okay.
So,
All right, I would consider doing some
That's
research.
what I'm proposing, just an idea that we can entertain and work it out.
I think it's a good idea.
So
I think
if we
look
need
at-
to bring it back, I'm for it, but let's see what we can do.
Okay.
We also have to consider that each council member here is a valve, form of communication to the community. Our constituency, usually they call you, Mr. Hodge, they call Mayor Pro Tem, they call me, they call Mr. Castro, they call Mr. Moreno. So in that regard, we could be that first line of communication. The only thing would be is to direct that information to the appropriate personnel or through the city manager and have the staff issue out some kind of a notice. But we have to remember, this is what the public wants us for, to be able to represent them, and where they can approach somebody and that would carry their concerns onto City Hall or to council. Anyway, what is the wishes of the council? Do we give direction to the city
I
manager?
think we should give direction, and as soon as we get that hotline, we'll give Mr. Gonzalez the first crack at it.
Okay. All right, then, city manager, direction.
At this point, right, I
It's
don't
just
think we need a
proc-
motion,
we
it's
just need a
direction.
procedure.
We'll bring back.
Right.
After
there's no
we
motion
review
here.
them.
if we could just get 3 nodding heads, and then we're fine. Okay, that'll work.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, item number 10, approval of resolution of the City Council of the City of Calexico on providing a rent adjustment on the use of the community center or senior center to recent retirees. I will first direct it to Councilman Castro, who requested this item on the agenda. Mr. Castro.
Yes, I believe that the recent and future retired person, employees, they have the right to have a party with their families and friends. And we need to, I believe, we need to treat them with gratitude and appreciate the city of service, what they done to the city of Calexico, and that's the reason at least we need to give them free of charge for the Calexico Community Center. That's my concern with every employee from the city of Calexico. That's about it.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. City Manager, you wish to add anything before we go to the public?
Well, I'll just give you a brief, this was a item that was brought up by Councilman Castro, and so we spoke about what his ideas were so we could bring it back. If you recall, you gave direction to work on it and come back. What we are proposing at this point, the proposals before you, is that basically anybody who has worked for the city and retires with the city then would be eligible and would get the center, whether it's a community center or whether it's the senior center, would get it free of charge. As I mentioned in my memo, this is a proposal, so you certainly have the right to modify the terms as long as, we have 3 council members saying that's the way you want to go. This is, and I think Mr. Castro has said that, this is not in concrete. We're bringing it back, this is a proposal, but if you so desire to discuss the possibility of changing the percentage of reduction on the adjustment based on service years, then certainly I think this is a time to talk about it, so that hopefully we can get some kind of concrete direction so that we can finalize this item.
Would this be, I'd like a question.
Well, yeah, if we can go to the public first before we go to the council. Mr. Gonzalez, you have this item on discussion. If I will ask you to please go to, if you speak from there, they're not going to be able to pick it up in the recording, sir.
I would like to encourage your council to adopt it because I think it's a form of gratitude, appreciation, a manifestation of your support for their loyalty and dedication and understanding. And it seems to me that, query, would somebody that retired 5 years ago, never had a party, could he apply? I think it would, because it says staff employees, it doesn't say today. Or maybe it will, I don't know. But that's a policy issue that you, lady and gentlemen, should decide. So I'm in favor. I know some of my relatives work, friends, cousins, for many years. And I know Calexico at one time gave awards, but I think the budget is lean and we don't have any funds, but I don't think it's going to put anybody to shame. The bill, let's say for example this Saturday, it's not being used. Somebody could use it, for a party, for an employee. I don't think we're going to have 365 parties a year. So it seems to me that it's fair and audaciously fair what Mr. Castro proposed. So in kindness, I would like to ask you to please adopt it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Moreno.
A couple of questions. I like the concept. I think it's a great concept, and I would encourage the balance of the council to look at a possible formula as to years of service over discount or something like that. But the question would go to our legal counsel of whether or not this would be a gift of public funds.
Councilman Moreno, these types of rewards for continued city employment are allowed under current law because it's not a gift of public funds, because it's retaining and attracting city employees and their continued employment here. It's in a way a form of compensation or benefit that would be given to them upon their retirement. So it's not a lavish, it's not, we're talking about a couple $100s as opposed to, $1,000 watch or something like that, so.
Okay. My next question would probably be directed to the city manager. If an employee works 35 years opposed to an employee who works 10 or 15, would there be a difference in cost, or was that something?
Or even
that's
1 year.
It's not even considered?
Well, and that's why it's before you. You have the ability to do that if you so desire. The proposal before you is exactly that, a proposal. But again, I think Mr. Castro is open to, suggestions on how we can modify this.
Okay.
Yes.
Quickly to read a section that I think it needs clarifying is, nothing in this resolution exempts any employee from any requirement to pay any security deposit, any charges for damages to city facilities caused incidental to the employee's use of these facilities, or any charges for extra services provided at those facilities above the basic facility use charge. So does that mean that this is not waiving the cleaning fee?
That's correct. It waives, or, well, shouldn't say waive. The adjustment is on the base fee, whatever that adjustment you
Use of the
decide to do,
facility
but you still have all the other charges that go along with it.
What is our cleaning fee right now?
I think our cleaning fee is built in the base fee, if I remember correctly.
I'm sorry, Sandra's not here at this time. Okay, so that, I just needed that clarification that this is only then the use of the actual facility, but does not include a cleaning fee or what I just read now.
What we would do is we want to clarify that, because right now, I
Because it's
believe
not
the
very
fee
clear here.
includes the cleaning fee. So we'd want to identify that, in fact, it is the base fee less the cleaning fee.
Might want to be just a little more clear on the way this reads.
And we'll do that if you so desire to move forward. We'll identify it as the base fee less the cleaning fee, because I believe now it's just one fee.
I would probably also agree to maybe a tiered reduction according to years of service.
And again, I would want to have some kind of guidance as to what that would be, if you're talking about 5 years and 10 years, if that's a sufficient tier, where the 5-year service, five service years would be a 50% reduction of the base fee, and 10 years would therefore be 100% reduction, or are you talking 4 tiers, or, I guess I need some guidance on that.
I think that I believe it appears that the whole council is in support of this concept that was presented by Councilman Castro. The only thing it would be is that before it become enforced, that the conditions already be stipulated. If there's going to be a tier based on 5, 10, 15. There was a comment made at the previous council meeting where even an employee was here less than a year or just over a year should have similar consideration. I have reservations about that one. But if there's a tier, some kind of a tier, where it would be somewhat unfair for somebody who has served the city of Calexico 25 years, 30 years or so, for somebody to come in for less than a year and have the same consideration. I think that in itself is not fair. But as far as the concept as a whole, I believe there is a consensus by this council to go forward in something like this.
Well,
I was going to say, since it was a concept presented by Mr. Castro, how about meeting with the city manager or anybody that the city manager believes should be present about putting some guidelines together before the council approves this? And there was a mention about other persons or other former staff members that had retired that may not qualify for this from years past. That's also should be included in this language.
Well, it says as of September 19.
Right, and the thing is that something could be included, something like a grandfather clause of others that have retired some time back that may be able to take advantage of something like this.
Well, the problem that we get into when we start doing that is, what is that magical date? How far back do we go?
I understand that, and this is why I'm asking Councilman Castro if he would have the opportunity to sit down with the city manager and work out some of the details.
I don't have no problem with that. I can do it.
Okay, so if you don't mind, Mr. Castro, maybe we can present this at the next council meeting?
Next council meeting.
Maybe you can work out some of the details. Sure. And obviously, with whatever date that is included here, at least continue to freeze it from 6 months from today. That way, if a resolution is not resolved until 2 or 3 months later, hopefully it's not, maybe it'll be at the next meeting or the two meetings, that, that it be this 6 months from today is still considered, if not beyond. Anyway, again.
If I may, let me just, actually, I don't want to belabor the point, but I want to throw something on the table to see if this makes sense, so we don't go round and round on this. I think it's something that the council as a whole wants to do, so I'd like to move this forward. And one of the recommendations that I would make to you is that you consider, if you want to tier it, that you do a 5, 10, 15, and 20-year service, and that your reduction is at 25%, so that if a person who has 5 years of service credit then would have an adjustment of 25%. A person who had 10 years of working service years for the city would have a reduction of 50%, and then 15 would be 75, and if you have 20 years or more, then you would automatically get it free of charge.
Mr. Castro?
You know what, you're right. I mean, I believe that if we started from 5 years.
So it would be a minimum of 5 years?
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
minimum. Yeah, we're gonna start with.
Is that good for
Sounds
you,
good.
Mr. Castro?
I mean, for me, that's.
You want to make a motion on that, Mr. Castro?
No problem.
You want to make a motion?
Make a motion to, will you please repeat the motion?
Well, we would make the adjustment so that it's your service, and for every 5-year service, you get a 25% reduction on the base rate.
5, 10, 15, 25. At 25 or more, you...
20 or more.
It's gonna be 100%
Right.
discount?
20 or more service years, and you don't pay anything on the base rate.
What if it's 13 years?
Okay.
Is that your motion to,
Is that, yeah?
yes,
my
that's your motion?
Yes.
Is there a
Let me-
second?
Let me understand that. From
Minimum 5 years,
minimum 5 years.
and then at 10 years.
25%,
Yes.
10, 50%, and 20,
15 at 25, 75. 15
Seven.
years at 75%,
75, 20?
100%.
Yeah.
20 and more.
Well, that's
20 more is
the date
100%,
would be
okay.
right, when we approve it,
That
that's
is
what I
fine.
tried to
But
get.
the clean deposit will stay.
We'll have to come back.
Okay.
We're done.
A lot of our department heads will get a free party.
Bring that up right
Make
now.
a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so just for clarification, then it'd be every 5 years, would be a 25% discount. Obviously, 20 plus, you don't pay anything on the base rent.
No,
You need minimum of 5 to be eligible, but after 20 plus, then you automatically don't pay anything on the base rent. The base rent, for the record, is the rental amount less the cleaning charge.
yeah, the cleaning
Okay.
charge remains, and that's part of his
Okay.
motion.
We also have a condition on here that says it has to be used within 6 months after your retirement date. You still want to hold on to
After the
that?
6 months?
So when you retire, your retirement date, we just look at your retirement date, and you got 6 months to use it,
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
okay? And it becomes effective tonight if you approve it tonight,
Mr. Castro?
Yes.
Yes.
okay? Then you can make a
There's
motion
by
and we're
Mr.
ready to
Castro.
go.
There's a second by Mr. Moreno. Please press the button to display your vote. Five zero.
May I answer, Mayor? Mr. Mayor, I've been asked a question, may I answer?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Normally, we don't get very many, but obviously, these coming years, as we look at reduction of our workforce, we put programs in such as a volunteer separation incentive program, so we may have a little more. My prediction is we're probably looking at somewhere between 10 and 15 in the coming years as we reduce our staff. You're welcome.
City Attorney, City Manager?
Yeah. It's got a kitchen.
Yeah, it's better.
There's a discussion here about maybe modifying the previous motion. Can we still go forward? City Attorney?
Yes, as long as everybody voted in favor of it, so as long as someone voted in favor of it, ask for a motion for reconsideration.
Is there a motion? Can we motion for?
First, you vote on the motion to reconsider, and then you would,
Yes, motion to amend the second.
Mr. Moreno, since you seconded?
Sure.
Okay. What was being mentioned right now by Mr. Castro is that it be, since it's for one employee, for his friends and family, instead of just having the larger center, the senior center?
That's totally up to you. I think one of the reasons, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Castro, that one of the reasons that we were using either or was scheduling issues, whether or not they were available or not available, did they want the bigger one, are they willing to pay for that or not? You know.
Leave it as is, I would
Leave it
say.
as is. Is that
It's
okay?
either community or
right.
senior center.
Then leave it as is. Go forward. Okay, number 11, Calexico Redevelopment Agency, successor agency. It's under the consent calendar. Council can go straight to the item if there's a motion for its approval.
Motion
Or
for
if
its
you wish
approval,
to
please.
discuss.
Second.
Motion to approve, second. Motion to approve by Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado, second by Councilman Hodge. Please press the button to display your vote.
Thank you, Mr. Mesa, for your patience.
Yes. Okay, we'll go to future agenda items. Mr. Hodge?
Okay. Mr. City Manager, for future agenda items, there are no new ones. It's just reiterating some that I had mentioned last time. Could we please have on the agenda discussion and possible action on permanently staffing the dispatchers? The next one was, well, I think that's been answered on the subcommittee for parks, to look at the bathrooms, so appreciate that. Mr. Savine is not here, I'll communicate, but would you also follow up? I had requested a 2-year, or whatever he feels is appropriate, something we call an education and action plan regarding Measure D, and funds, and indicating a priority list of future streets, road repair, and copies hopefully to be distributed to the future. Again, mentioned, could I please have an executive report in conjunction with Mr. Savine on a potential plan to provide shade coverage to existing bus stops, and looking at possible funding from the city and ICTC, and also a list of all existing bus stops so we can be aware of what's out there and what needs to be improved upon. Those are repeatable future agenda items from the last meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hodge. Councilman Moreno?
None at this time.
Councilman Castro?
No, not at this time.
Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado?
I believe that we talked about this already, but at the beginning of this meeting, which was a long time ago, but the Melrose, just to make sure that we have that on our next agenda, and some type of a pool update, what it is that where we're at right now with the pool and with the discussion that we had today. I believe that would be you and I.
Yes.
A little more in-depth, and maybe have even Mr. Renison come around and talk about that new idea he has. That's all.
Thank you. It was mentioned, I don't know if it was mentioned by, I don't recall, by Councilman Hodge or Councilman Castro regarding the readiness for another natural disaster.
That was me, sir.
That was yours?
Yes, sir.
One of the things that happened at the Easter Sunday earthquake, I had received numerous calls regarding that, is here it was where the city of Calexico was a little bit in shambles with all the damages to structures of all sorts. And it was incredible how many calls I received where there was a sense of disappointment that the fees were in full force. One where, well, I'll give you just one example where a concrete fence was substantially damaged, where the department, code enforcement, ordered them to take the fence down, and then they wanted to put the fence back up, and then they had to pay a $500 or $750 fee to to get the fence up. One of the things that what we need to do for our citizens of Calexico is that when a natural disaster happens, that the city is very open or very understanding that it could go forward in doing these repairs without having to come and pay for these fees. I'm not saying that to excuse the process where they have to get it approved by planning, engineering, or building, but there should be a substantially reduced rate, if not excuse the fee itself. During these natural disasters, obviously the natural disaster has to be called upon by the city of Calexico, recognized by FEMA and CalEMA, before something like that were to be in place. So I would ask the city manager, work with your staff, and in presenting some kind of a concept like this, maybe it requires a ordinance change, since I'm sure there's no language to this.
Mr. Mayor, I think we did approve something to that effect right after
I don't
the earthquake. I will double check on it because I believe there was some waiver that was put in place. That was one of the items that was sent to council immediately at that meeting. But I'll double check because it was several years ago. So let me see what I can pull up.
Okay, because these are concerns that surfaced recently in the last several weeks that people were talking. What's that?
Did they wait to repair, or did they?
No, instead of, you might say, making the arguments of repairing, not repairing, they were more making the argument, why should they pay these fees?
Okay, because like I said, I recall that there was something related to that. It would have been in place for a certain time period, and then it would have stopped. So, but let me check into that, because that is something that is, yes, absolutely.
And as an informational item, if one does exist.
Yes.
Thank you. Since there's no more comments, motion to adjourn. And second.